We look off the edge till the waves come crashing in, and we say our goodbyes to the tides that might have been. When the sky is getting dark and we're broken in our hearts, when we build our homes in Mars, from the ashes we will rise. When the world is falling down, will you be my solid ground? When the world is falling down, will you be my solid ground? I'm running away from the past I left behind. I'm looking for answers, but I'm blinded by the lights. I'm lost in the music, and I stay here for the night. I promise I'll be gone in the morning, out of sight and out of mind. You know when you keep running but your legs are standing still, it's like you're stuck in a nightmare but you keep doing it for the thrill. Well, this is reality, you only live it once, so wake up from your dream. But just for tonight, let the lines get blurred, let your thoughts be free, let your thoughts be free. Stop
We're in the starlight now. We're in the starlight now. We're in the starlight now.
The night beckons while you dream. A life never lives in peace. As you stand upon the edge, woven by a single thread, and fate may fall down upon you, while the devil is knocking right at your door. So all you restless, each night you hear the drums of war. Awaken, awaken, the voice begins to call you while you hunger. A taste of destiny searching for. Awaken, awaken, the fight is at your door, so take up the cause. now it's KDA. I'm a goddess with a blade. 소리쳐 나 이름 잊지 못하게 loud 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 loud. I can take you to the top. 절대 멈추지 못해. 내가 끝내주는 bag out out out. And when I start to talk like that, oh you won't know how to react. I'm a picture perfect face with that wild in my veins. You can hear it in my growl 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 growl. So keep your eyes on me now. 무엇을 보든 좋아할 거야. 나의 소원은 level. 나와 되게 원하는 확신해. We got it all in our hands now. So can you handle what we're all about? We're so tough. Get to show you up. Can you feel the rush now? Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. They can try, but we gonna wear the crown. You can go another round, 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 round. Wish you luck, but you're not bringing us down. We go hard, till we get it, we go hard. We're so in it, we pop stars. Only winning, winning now. Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. You ready for this? See, 언제든지 내 모습 magic 단한 번에 네가 잡을 절대 기죽지 않지. 팝하는 거 못 알아. 근데 숲소원해도 오늘은 굴거려 보여. I'm troubling you, wanting it. I'm so cold. When I move that way, you gon' be so blown. I'm the realest in the game. Set on the fire with the blade. You're about to hear my name. Ring it in your head like whoa. So keep your eyes on me now. 무엇을 보든 좋아할 거야. We're so tough. Let's get to show you up. Can you feel the rush now? Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. They can try, but we gonna wear the crown. You can go another round, 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 round. Wish you luck, but you're not bringing us down. We go hard, till we get it, we go hard. We're so in it, we pop stars. Only winning, winning now. Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. 난 멈추지 않아. We go hard. We pop stars. Nobody bringing us down, 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 down. They can try, but we gonna win the crown. You can go round, 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 round. Wish you luck, but you're not bringing us down. We go hard, till we get it, we go hard. We're so in it, we pop stars. Only winning, winning now. Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down.
Feeling for you, I'm so scared. Can you feel me? I'm so scared if I show my feelings for you. Need to know what you're feeling, know what you're feeling. I'm so scared if I show my feelings for you. Can you feel me? Feeling for you, feeling for you. Can you feel me? I'm so scared if I choose all my feelings for you. Need to know what you're feeling, know what you're feeling. I'm so scared if I choose all my feelings for you. Can you feel me? Can you feel me?
You are my strangest addiction. I could say I'll quit without any conviction. Broke my own heart this time for believing that a ghost could find a body alive that hasn't seen the other side. So don't call me, I'll find something to escape my mind. What's the cause when there's no love lost between us? So burn the letters, there's a tragedy in every ember. In every ember. In every ember. In every ember. There's a tragedy in every You are my strangest addiction. I could say I'll quit without any conviction. Broke my own heart this time for believing that a ghost could find a body alive that hasn't seen the other side. So don't call me, I'll find something to escape my mind. There's a tragedy in every ember.
And welcome everybody to the BSV kickoff for 2021. A new year and a new tournament to kick things off. And one team we've seen before, one team we haven't. As of course, before we introduce teams, we'll introduce the voices you'll be hearing for the next 4 games.
Yeah.
My name is Ewan Midnight Reed, joined by Benjamin Tico Lee for the kickoff to the 2021 season. Benji, how you feeling? You hype?
It's actually been a while since we've had a little bit of a hiatus in terms of the competitive community, amateur, and we're back and BSV is kicking it off live, and I love to see that everyone's just keen to get back into it, even if it's a new year, even with a couple of the struggles that we did go through last year. Everyone's still keen to be competitive and put on their game face.
Yeah, and talk about putting on their game faces. There are 2 teams for game number 1. You can probably see them on screen. The Weekend Warriors are on the right-hand side of Summoner's Rift, and my attempts to pronounce this will be botched. Gogeyon Gaming?
Goguryeo, I think.
Gogeyon
We're
Gaming,
gonna go
something with
Goguryeo.
G's.
Yeah.
Gaming is on the left side, and we have powered our way through the commands. Not too much, I think, to worry on, because the bird is indeed the word in the middle lane there. The Anivia is going to be coming in for Ogek the Knight.
Yeah, Anivia is popping up really much more in terms of, the current or the new season. She's got so much control in the mid lane. She's got the wave clear. That's one of her strong suits with previous patches. She's coming back because there are some items that she really synergizes well with.
And now she's actually got damage. She's about just wave clear. She finally has damage, Tico. It's a miracle. After seasons of her being the wave clear bot and then becoming irrelevant because Baron minions existed, she's finally a useful champion. So a lot of love in the middle lane there, though. On the other side, the Weekend Warriors, if Anivia needs room because of her zone control, then the Weekend Warriors have quite clearly said we're going to be charging head first. Problem, they've got a Hecarim for that and a Leona to make sure the engage will always connect.
Speaking of head first, we got headstrong champions coming out from Goguryeo. Rammus and Ornn, big, huge, massive tanks, and they're both armor threats, I want to say. And I'm loving that we're currently seeing some AP hovers, but I don't agree with the Aurelion Soul.
If you lock in an Aurelion Soul here, I swear to God, you're just trolling. Oh my God!
No.
That can't...
Surely not.
I don't see why. I love it. I really want to see it. This tells us that it's got to be something top or bottom lane focused, because you don't lock in the Aurelion Soul as the solution to wave clear. You pick it because you need to roam. So I think the big thing we worry about for Weekend Warriors here is who is their top lane and how much love does he need, and who is their marksman and how much love do they need to become relevant in these games.
I do think that we're going to be seeing some form of a roaming death squad coming out from the Weekend Warriors. I mean, we've got a heavy roam mid laner. Leona put on some Moby boots and she's going to be zooming. Hecarim just zooms anyway because he's got double the amount of legs that normal people do. So that's where this is sort of where you have to look at it and say the Shen was a really good ban, and they're really trying to take away some global priority.
Yeah. The removal of the Shen is basically meaning if Predalok was meant to be the weak lane, where Uwu would visit bot lane a lot, well, that's not really allowed to happen much anymore. So we'll see what they lock in here. I kind of expect them to lock in an aggressive marksman here and leave their top laner to last, because you've got... Actually, no, they've already seen it all. They can just lock in like a Mordekaiser or whatever they want now.
Yeah.
So lock in your Bobby Bully of a top laner here, and then keep your marksman hidden until later, never mind. But they are still looking for something high carry, high damage potential. It is the Jinx.
I don't know if I agree with that one, though. They're putting that into Rammus, and Rammus has potential to just get on top of the Jinx and delete her by hitting herself.
Technically, yes, but getting on top of the Jinx is going to be a problem, because the Rammus has to almost act as a counter-engage, because the primary engage coming out of Leona and Aurelion Soul is going to be obnoxious to deal with. And then if he's trying to start the fight with the Rammus, what's to stop Leona from just locking Rammus down and not letting him get access to the Jinx? Also, once the taunt is down, you can just ignore the Rammus.
Yeah, definitely can.
It's like a bowling ball coming towards you. You just take a step to the left and it's no longer a threat.
I mean, this bowling ball moves, but that's besides the point. I mean, as well as the fact that Hecarim is able to interrupt Rammus as he's going through his speedball. Heavy poke ball lane. I like that.
That's disgusting. I agree with you though. That is disgusting because assume that is Xerath and Ezreal bot lane together, which means if Leona Jinx don't get ahead or can't or get poked down so they can't engage, the Leona becomes basically a rock. And unfortunately, rock in this scenario is not a good thing. It's useless. It's there. It exists in the lane to do nothing.
Yeah, but I mean, it does give the Weekend Warriors a little bit of tankiness because they do have, the Mordekaiser and the Hecarim who can sort of act like tanks, but it's more that they're going to have more HP than resistances. Leona's the only one that's going to be going to put priority on building resistance or damage mitigation. So I think they are going to be heavily relying on the Leona to make sure the Jinx stays alive, make sure that no one gets on top of the Jinx, get in front of the bowling ball before it actually hits the AD carry. And on the back of that as well, I feel like it's just protect the carry comp. If anyone gets on top of the Jinx, Mordekaiser's like, no, you're coming with me into a different realm.
But it's different to your standard protect the carry comps, because typically the standard protect the carry comp, you got a tank in the top lane, a tank utility, something in the jungle, and then typically you have a shielder somewhere in there to provide buffs along the likes of Ardent Sensor to protect the carry instead of being the one to start the fight. But the adaptation, I think, works because your mid laner, instead of something protective like a Karma or a Orianna, is a roaming Aurelion Soul. So it's not hide the Jinx in the back line and don't let anything get through. It's, we're coming to bot lane, we're killing Pumpkinator and Kilina as well, Kilina and Pumpkinator in the bot lane, and snowballing early. So which I think is a fun way to look at a protector comp, because otherwise you get to half an hour into a game and there's been 3 kills for your team, but finally your Jinx has 3 items. No, this is aiming to get those 2-3 items of Jinx as early as possible by playing aggressive on the side of the Weekend Warriors. So a fun game plan, but it does have a few problems. And I think the biggest person who's going to put a problem in the range is Dino on the Rammus. And not necessarily because he's the good answer to the Jinx, but because if Aurelion Soul's trying to roam and Dino finds the Aurelion Soul, the Space Dragon really can't do a whole lot to protect himself from a very angry bowling ball.
No. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a little bit of a struggle for the Aurelion Soul to actually be able to find some opportunities to roam as well. Just because Anivia is Aurelion Soul might be looking to just shove in mid-wave and then roam. But the fact of the matter is Anivia is so good at wave clearing, he's going to be able to deal with any, minion shove that's going to be shoved into the Ogek, and then going to be able to shove it back in towards the other end of the mid lane. Aurelion Soul is going to be down. If he does commit to the roam, he's going to be down a couple of waves.
But there is a solution, which is, and it was a thing when Aurelion Soul was hugely popular. I believe it was Huhi back on CLG a couple of years in it. Level 2 roam. Literally push the wave as quickly as you can, get your E, and then comet down to bot lane and hit you hit level 2 first. And by the time you get there, your bot lane hits level 2 at about the same time as you arrive. So it's cheesier than Shaco level 2 ganking you in mid lane. But it can work if that's the strategy you do decide to do, because once Anivia gets access to the Glacial Storm, you're not getting past Anivia because the wave clear is her signature move. So it'll be very interesting to see how that goes in the middle lane. Top lane, briefly before we go into a little bit of a break, is, well, sucks to be on, and that's all that needs to be said there. Guys, as our first game for the 2021 season is about to kick off here on the BSV side, don't go anywhere. We'll be into the first game of the night soon.
From the spark, I was failing just to watch you twirl. It was us against the world. You were the rain falling on my skin. Yeah, I was dying when you pulled me in. I was your rebel and you were my girl. It was us against the world. Yeah, I'm paying gray, all dust and fade. When I call for you, all I hear back is pain. Every song must end, even diamonds fade. When the darkness comes, I count up my mistakes. We were the thunder and the lightning, burn fire started from the spark. I would spend it just to watch you twirl. It was us against the world. You were the rain falling on my skin. Yeah, I was dying when you pulled me in. I was your rebel and you were my girl. It was us against the world. We were the thunder and the lightning. I was your rebel and you were my girl. It was us against the world.
And we are into the first game of the night here between the Weekend Warriors and the Go Guryao Gaming Group.
Go
here.
Guryao.
But that's
Go. Go Guryao.
This is what I'm going to deal with. First cast of the year, and this is what I'm going to deal
You
with.
have always
Fantastic.
struggled with names, though.
I'm dyslexic. It's not my fault. I didn't choose to be like this. But okay, a few fun things coming into our first game of the day here. From the side of GG, is what I'm going to call them because I don't want to get yelled at anymore.
Go Guryao.
The cleanse on the Ezreal I really, really like. It's respectful and really, really clever considering not only is the not the Morgana, that's a Leona, a problem, but if Uwu decides to visit the bottom lane or any point in the game, they will be more prepared for it. As kicks off well with a stun from Ogek and Anivia already flexing her wings.
I don't know if you can actually flex wings, but I feel like if anyone was flexing in terms of champions, Aurelion Sol would be flexing so much harder because he can fly without wings.
I mean, yes, but he's also a space dragon, so
Yeah.
he couldn't fly even with wings. Without wings, I'm a little worried why like a cosmic being such as he couldn't fly.
Does a cosmic being have a gender?
Of all things to ask, why?
I mean, if you think about it, I don't think Zoe would have a gender either. However,
Well, what we do know is the gendered bot lane.
I don't know. Xerath is just pure energy. I don't know if you can.
He
gender
used to be
Xerath.
a guy, but the bottom lane poke that we did expect to come out of Pumpkinator as well as Kalina has gotten them the early level 2 advantage and is basically putting Lost and Lucifer down. I mean, they've just at level 2 now, but Leona isn't allowed to engage in this situation. Lost in Thoughts is just way too low on this Jinx. So they're going to need some backup. Well, they're going to look for an engagement. This is going to be risky. Ignite comes down nice and early. Kalua forced to flash out. They are going to try and chase it down, but they will be forced to back away. Lucifer is low. Dashes in for the fight now. Lucifer gets stunned down. Pumpkinator is still doing a lot of damage. They flash out to safety as Lost in Thought flashing away as well, but will go down as the re-engage comes through, but it is a disaster. Lost in Thought is literally going to get taken down by the wind, or in this case, it will be a shot from the Xerath if he can hit a damn target.
Yeah, I think
Bye-bye.
wasn't a good engage. That was a good dodge.
Wait, what is going on in this bottom lane? How are you not dead? And Uwu's now in trouble there. There is no stun available. The flash coming in, not able to get the taunt down just yet. And Uwu gets out, never mind. Spoke way too soon as the Flash Frost gets the kill.
Yeah, it gets the empowered Flash Frost as well, especially lock down the Aurelion Sol. He does not have too much mobility to escape aside from, his E, and he has to be out of combat for that one. But down in the bottom line, I want to talk about what happened there. They decided they were going to stick around. I don't think it was a smart decision for Lost in Thoughts to do so. However, played that one beautifully to be able to dodge all the Xerath abilities, which some would say is easy, some would say is hard. Hecarim showing top side though.
Yeah, visiting topside here, but there's not a whole lot for the Hecarim to do up here. The Ornn has to play back, has to play respectfully because it is a Mordekaiser favored matchup. So outside of getting maybe a little bit of pressure, it is a bit of a pointless visit there. And thinking about visits around the map here, I like if Lucifer does commit to this, which is a bit more roaming. Because in this bottom lane, realistically speaking, unless Leona is starting the fight, Lucifer shouldn't bother being down there because they're not doing anything. They might get a few more CS, but they're not putting in lane pressure, and they're not protecting Lost in Thoughts because you can't nullify damage, poke damage as a Leona. So get some early boots, get some roaming going on, I think is a better idea than allowing Pumpkinator and Kalina to just bully you.
Yeah, but there's a couple of things that have to go right for that to be able to be done effectively. First, the wave needs to be in a good position. Second, the Jinx needs to dodge every single ability. Meanwhile, bot side, Ram is showing face.
Yeah, an engage coming through there to Lucifer. A really good shield of Daybreak there to deny Dino. And Dino is the right attempt. And if he stays around, they might get a little bit something cheeky. But Wasteman's also around, so they've got to be a little careful if they want to do repeats. And I think rightly so, Dino just gives it up.
Yeah, it doesn't really need to be able to fight that, especially with how far back the bot lane was sitting. I don't think they communicated that one properly, or they just took too late to be able to respond to that. However, Hecarim is showing up a little bit in the bot side as well, just making sure that no cheeky engage is going to happen. The poke from Xerath though is really nice.
Yeah, Ghost being used very early. Kalina will have to be the only target here, but they're still really far back there. The missed center blade means a disengage coming through there, and a successful disengage coming from the side of GG.
Yeah, but it wasn't really a good spot for the Hecarim to be able to gank there anyway. He wasn't spotted out in the bush, that's fine, in the river bush, but the problem was that they didn't wait for the wave to be pushed up even more. See, right now would be somewhat of a good spot to get a gank going, especially when you do have the control ward in the bush. But the problem is they're just sitting too far back. They've got too much mobility and safety within the Ezreal and safety within the Xerath to be able to just stun someone in their place.
Oh, this is a bit of a worry for Maple here. He doesn't really do much, and yet forced to flash to safety here. In the bottom lane, Lost in Thoughts has to, like, he's doing I think this is a really bad decision, actually, because he should be backing, but instead is able to pick up the kill there, making me eat my words. Lucifer set it up perfectly for that final zap to get the kill.
100% that was all Lucifer. As soon as Xerath got inside of range and, auto attack, it did some form of damage to one of the two champions.
Death Throw being dropped here. Wasteman is around, but Dino is waiting for the cannon gank as well, so this could go disastrously. But the issue is, I don't think Maple's going to live that long. Gets taken down thanks to the onslaught of shadows that Dino does get the taunt down, but it's simply not going to do much more than that. And a really good move from Predator to get that solo, effectively a solo kill.
Yeah, 7 seconds it feels like a long time, and it just felt like ages for Owen as well. Maybe time goes by differently in the realm of death.
Probably.
Yeah, but it's still a long time, and the Hecarim had to wait there, and that would have been a really good delay tactic to get Dino Derps towards the top lane. Maybe if it was 8 seconds, which in the realm of death that'd be what, 2 years?
There's something along those lines. Like I want to start quoting Interstellar, if anyone remembers that movie. It's like, this maneuver's going to cost us 56 years, boys.
I mean, a little bit of trivia about Interstellar as well. There's a little bit of, every second there's a tick that happens in the background of the music.
Yeah, I heard
and
that.
Apparently that is 1 day on Earth.
Yeah, I remember hearing something like that. But, this is a ballsy move coming through here from the side of the Weekend Warriors. They have the positional advantage, and they should be able to give them just about too many problems here, but I'm very surprised they were the ones to get that objective. Their bot lane has been pushed in and shoved under the entire time for the last 8 minutes, basically. Yet, for some reason, they are the ones who are allowed to rotate to the objective first. It just doesn't feel correct to me.
Well, it's just their global pressure, right? They had 4 members down there before, Gergoyo did, and they were able to get priority around the vision there. Like, they got 2 control wards, 1 in the river bush, and 1 to the entrance of bot lane, and 1 inside the Dragon Pit itself, as well as Scuttle Crab. And I would say the general rule of thumb is if you get Scuttle Crab, there's no way that the other team's going to be able to sneak that dragon. So, sort of have priority over that dragon at a point.
Yeah. I just always see it as when you're being pushed in that hard in bot lane, you need to tell your jungler, hey, get down here, we can force the objective. They can't do anything. I mean, before, you saw Lost in Thoughts, he had less than 10, he had like 10 HP on him. a 10 HP Jinx is not going to contest an objective like that, and now we're seeing the poke continue where even Lucifer's forced a body block just to try and protect his marksman, who is 30 CS down from just the laning phase alone.
Understandable though. All the poke is focused onto Lost in Thoughts. They realize, Gogoyo realizes that the win condition, or one of them, is the Jinx in this bot side. Get the roams going and make sure this Jinx gets as much help as possible. If Kalina keeps the HP bar down on the Jinx, it's going to be so rough for them to be able to step up the farm, as you can see, as well as just being able to fight.
Oh, God, I remember this vision before. Maple is once again trapped. Waste is just waiting for the Death Realm to drop him out there, and the Call of the Forge goes long time as Kalina might be able to get the kill. One more hit will do, but not able to get the kill. Was forced to win because Uwu has finally rotated to the bottom half of the map here. Won't be able to get too much more than this, I suspect. A beautiful cleanse may turn things around him, and Uwu getting confident. Glacial Storm coming out there. Uwu on the front line is forced to flash seconds, but will more than likely go down there. Voice of Light will do nothing but buy a little bit of room here. Solar Flare onto Ogek is something, but it just fades in. Lost in Thoughts, and now Lucifer, without a prey, without an ally, he is going to try to do something, but I don't think it's going to matter. That is 3 kills for the bird in the middle lane.
Beautiful plays coming out from the Anivia. Amazing roam as well. As soon as he sees Aurelion Sol leaving lane, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna follow him. He arrives to the fight late, but he still manages to turn that one around and giving himself 3 kills off, well, with the help of his teammates, just to be able to pick up all 3 members, zone them off as well, and then just utilize every single part of his kit to make sure that the rest of his team is safe.
Yeah, and that for an Anivia who needs a little bit of time to ensure he is the bird is getting the items, has the mana capacity to play with, is beautiful, because there is the Liandry's Anguish with the tier already stacking at not 12 minutes. What is Uwu meant to do in this middle lane now? He can't out pressure the Anivia in terms of wave clear, which means he's now forced to roam. But we saw the first attempt to roam failed catastrophically. So you're put in a really awkward situation where you either need to just basically give up your mid lane turret and roam to the bottom lane and work on getting Lost in Thoughts ahead, because they are still 30 CS behind in this poke lane, or find another solution, which is maybe hard gank the Anivia, but Anivia's almost level 11. She almost has rank 2 in that ultimate. I don't think it's going to work, even if you did throw the Hecarim all in.
It's not a smart decision either. I mean, there's only one place this Aurelion Sol can go. There's nothing going to come of this top lane. There's only one place this Aurelion Sol can go, and that's in the bot lane, because that's where you want to get the most effectiveness out from these roams. The problem, however, is the fact that every time Aurelion Sol leaves the mid lane, Anivia is going to know where he's going.
Yeah, Maple's in a lot of trouble here. Does get out to safety, and the Call of Forge God might be a little bit reactive, because there is no way they're not going to get this charge off. They're going to get the turret plates, and if Maple stays, he dies. If he stays here, this is just nothing short of greedy players. Uwu is in so much trouble here. We talked about the difference, and just 1-2 tap, goodbye.
Yeah, meanwhile, up at the top side as well, Maple Apple did not respect the dive potential bot lane.
Gage coming in there, but the CC coming down onto the Jinx at the bottom there. Lost in Thoughts is just going to get assassinated, flashing into the flame compass there. Makes life a little bit harder, but it does not matter, as Lucifer will fall as well. Dino now forced to run up the hills there, trying to pull the making Predator. The Predator will get the hit down there. Dino's not making it out here alive. He's in the death realm, trapped in here with Predalock, and now Ogek's being pulled in. This madman of a top laner doesn't give a damn. A wall will not stop him, and goodbye, Bird. You will not be resurrected.
No, that was beautiful plays from them. There's action happening all over. Meanwhile, we didn't really get to see it, but oh wait, was that an ultimate? That was an ultimate kill coming out from the Jinx.
Oh god, you're right. I'm completely missed that. I was so focused in the middle lane. But you're right, Sniper with 2 make a death if he gets Kalina.
I didn't even see that. I didn't know where that was.
That must have been in bottom lane. That's because no else but the Xerath would have been there. But that is fantastic for Lost in Thoughts there, because that puts him a little bit closer to getting his mythic. He's still a while away, but it's a nice step closer, considering, again, 40 CS down now for this Jinx in the bottom lane. So any advantage you can get your hands on is fantastic in this situation. Talk about getting your hands on something. Lucifer echoes Dragon for some reason, don't know why, but immediately runs off as it could have a fight here. TP is available for both top laners.
Yeah, and bot lane is not too far to roam either, and they're going to be able to get some form of pincer movement. TP coming out from Predator Lock as well, going towards the mid lane. And I know that Maple Apple cannot match that right now.
Yeah, and we're seeing GG, they're spread out right now. They've got a pincer set up. The issue is, though, a pincer is so hard to execute. Their dragon has reset, though. That is so annoying. Philippa coming out is a very split side there, as the jungler is immediately on OGEK, and Maple turns with the cannon on the sideline there, as the rest of them attacking the dragon. The dragon is stolen down by the Ezreal there, but the rest of the fight may not look as if OGEK is jumped on. The Nivea cannot find the same teaming. Maple's going to go down here, as well. Pumpkinator and Killina are the only members that left in the fight, but it may not be enough waves to stop a Pumpkinator, and that is a one-way fight if I've ever seen it. And Killina, the last member left on the side of GG, is forced to run, but unfortunately against the Hecarim, nowhere you can run, nowhere you can flee. Fancy feet get you nowhere, but a free trip back to base.
He tried to survive under that turret. Wasteland was taking quite a few hits from the turret, but they were able to take away. Actually, I don't think any members died, maybe Lucifer on the Weekend Warriors, but they managed to steal the dragon as well. They shouldn't have been able to do that.
So, I suppose the consolation is that they stole the dragon, but at the end they still lost the fight. And part of the reason is OGEK needs room. Zenivia needs, as we talked about time and time again, zone control in order to work. The Nivea, I don't think, spent a single moment of that fight on their own, because Predalock was on top of them from the get-go till the end of the fight. So you can't split your resources with Ezreal and Zeref, hanging out in the bottom side of the river, and then the rest of your team on top side. You need to fight as one, with a huge chunk of the fight zoned out because of your Nivea. So, fight number 2, when we get for the next dragon in 3 minutes' time. I really want to see GG tackling it as a 5-man squad, not as a 3-2, not as a 3-2 collective.
Yeah, but I also think that they need to set up their zones before they actually get this fight going. I know that's hard to be able to set it up, but that's the entire purpose of Anivia, to be able to get that zone control and be able to win the team fight. If OGEK sets that up, that's gonna be an easy win for their team fights. Get so much damage, zone control as well, set up the team for where they want the Weekend Warriors to be placed, and then the rest of the team can just clean up.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, I kind of hope you see that if they go for this contest on the Rift Herald, but I think quite rightly so, they're going to give it up here. They just don't have the firepower in order to do it, because if they want to be aggressive and contested with an Anivia, you need to be set up beforehand, or you need your Ezreal here, and Ezreal's going to grab up, and oh no, this is a disaster. Kalinas is going to get one shot. Goodbye, and OGEK now has hit cornered by that beard, and the exhaust got down as well. They will be in egg form, but it might be time for scramble as they will go down. They do get a kill on the Wasteland, though. A beautiful turn around on the back end of the fight there. So they make it a 2-for-1 trade, but they still lost 2 members for it.
The mispositioning of the Xerath is what caught them out there. And that's what started it. They had 3 members able to jump over the wall to be able to collapse onto that Xerath, and then it sort of just crumbled from there. The Xerath died very, very quickly. You cannot afford to be caught out like that. You need to be able to clear some vision, and if you are clearing some vision, make sure that there is no potential for the enemies to dive over the wall and jump on you.
Exactly. I mean, it's almost, I think it's an unspoken rule that when you're doing vision around Baron, and it should go for all time doing vision, have a partner. Typically, it's your jungler who helps you, as Predalock is being very fancy with the footwork here, and this could be a potential engage, but not able to land the solar system on Pumpkinator. I get way too bloodthirsty when I see Aurelion Sol. There are so many potential engages that come out of this, the Corgi in the middle lane, basically.
Definitely, however, there's a reason why Aurelion Sol isn't very meta right now, and that's the fact that he's just got unreliable, it has got unreliable damage. You've got an AoE stun, which grows pretty big, and it lasts a relatively long time. But, I mean, other than that, what does he have? His stars that surrounds him.
He boops you every now and then, I guess.
Yeah.
And he yells at you. Don't forget, he can yell at you once.
And that only lasts a short while. I mean, look at this. It surrounds him and it gets slower after a while. 2-3 seconds of stars, and then it just goes back to normal damage. You there are more mid laners with better opportunities to be able to get more consistent damage.
But Uru's not locked in the Aurelion Soul for damage. Look at his mythic.
No, fair.
He's gone for the acknowledging that he is basically just the utility part of the team. So again, spelling into that, we're going to run a protect the carry comp. We're simply running it a little bit differently than is conventional, which I really, really like. The shame is that we haven't seen the Aurelion Soul do as much roaming as I think he should have done. But it's still... They're recovering. Yes, they're 40 CS down in the bottom lane, which is where I think there should have been a lot more pressure. But their Mordekaiser is 4-0, and they have now got priority once again over the Dragon. GG, again, in a really bad position where their comp that works better going slow is forced to walk in. And the jungler has been death drowned, so he can't even get in to contest the Dragon. It will get bursted down and secured by the side of Weekend Warriors. And now, do they look for a little bit more? Their Solar Flare is a little bit grouped up. That is a disaster of an engagement between Weekend Warriors are diving on top of the side of GG. They're trying to do what they can with the control of the but it does not matter. They have been run on top of. They could not buy themselves the time they needed to play the game. And as a result, 4 members will fall to the wayside. Lucifer may have died to get that fight started, but one hell of a fight it was.
Yeah, the beautiful Solar Flare coming out from Lucifer just to be able to enable the rest of his team. Catches out 3 members on the side of Gergoyo Gaming. And then off the back of that, they clean up the rest of the team. The only person left is the Pumpkinator, and there's really not much that the Ezreal can do in terms of wave clear just yet anyway. So the rotation from the Weekend Warriors from Dragon into Teamfight, or catching out the Teamfight into Baron, is a really smart decision.
Yeah, but Baron now secured for the side of Weekend Warriors. A good reward for very, very good play coming through here from this side. And their ability to work around objectives has been very impressive. I said it before, I didn't think they had any right to get the first dragon. They still did. They lost the second dragon due to a really good steal coming out from Pumpkinator. And in that third side there, they got the better positioning. GG was too slow to get into position because, again, they need more setup to whiff that Anivia. They need time to set up their positioning, and they're just not getting there first. And then Weekend Warriors like, okay, cool, we'll grab the objective. Hey, you guys seem a bit grouped up. Let's go for the throat. And if they can do it, I'd say 1 or 2 more times, it's looking pretty bad because they've already built a substantial gold advantage for themselves.
Yeah, they definitely have. It's getting closer and closer to the, as you like to say, the 10K mark. I sort of wish I had 10K, but Pumpkinator is going to meet up with a couple of them. Actually, in a dangerous position. You don't want to be there.
Yeah, it's the flash available and used, but it's not really going to do much to save him there. The cleansing and nothing is a bit unfortunate, and Dino will share the same fate as his AD carry there. And once again, they're just not respecting the potential engage that can come out from the Weekend Warriors. I mean, they've got so much CC, you just got to acknowledge that they're going to engage and back up, and instead they overstay themselves and they get killed for it.
I mean, it's a game of respect also, Lucifer. What are you doing? Okay, you cannot tank the turret. You have to let your minions do it. Smart decision, though.
Lucifer doesn't have a mythic. We're 22 minutes into the game.
Lucifer doesn't need a mythic Midnight.
Support life.
Look at how much Lucifer has already impacted the rest of the
Goodbye.
Oh.
That was disgusting here. Lucifer's going to get cut down to size, but that was a phenomenal engagement. Wasteland's been forced up an overextension of the Weekend Warriors, but it's a fine time. Lost the ball is free, hitting away. The Jinx is finally relevant in the fight. 5, 2, and 11. As Maple did lose their life on the top half of the map there. Ugek is trying to hold it up there. A beautiful wall to buy time. Actually going to burn them down, force the flash out. Is the third enough? Yes, it is. The Weekend Warriors, the moment you praise them, they fall apart.
Yeah, but they still have had so much pressure up in the top side as well. I mean, the zone control coming out from Ogek did magnificently to maintain that turret. But this is the team composition that the Weekend Warriors have drafted. They got a 1-4 split, and they've got a buff and... Sorry, with the Imperial Mandate, you buff as well as increase the damage and protect. That's what this team composition is. Make sure that the Jinx has more damage with, some of these items, Imperial Mandate, and the fact that you protect her by, either hard CCing, like hard CCing with the Realm of Death, or, just normal hard CC with a Solar Flare, or just Leona in general.
Exactly. And I mean, Talking about the realm of death, Predalog hasn't really been with his team if the objectives haven't been up.
Yeah.
Which I think is normally when you say that statement, it's a negative. I mean, why is the top laner grouping up with his team? But in this case, it's absolutely the correct decision. Get him on Spitfire Shooty because we take a quick look at the GG lineup.
Oh, he's
Who's
gotta
meant to? Oh, Pumpkinator run. Pumpkinator run. No, he's not running fast enough. There, it's all the play. Catches him on the back end of it. Goodbye. Farewell. Aliva says goodbye.
There's nothing that Aramis Speedy Ball could do to be able to save him as well. I mean, yeah, you've got a lot of mobility on the Ezreal, but you've only got one arcane shift, right? And if there's a Speedy Boy running towards you, it's sort of like in the movies, right? You've got a bowling ball, or not a bowling ball, like a big, huge ball coming towards you, right? And there are so many side streets you can go down because you know the bowling ball is going to keep going down, but the person just keeps running in the way of the ball, right?
I believe the phrase is the Prometheus school of running away from things. I believe is the phrase here. Is Dragon number 3 started up. Dino does not have flash and will be forced to give up Dragon number 3 there. Double Ocean now sitting in the side of the Weekend Warriors, which is actually pretty nice for them, honestly. I'd say it's not. Obviously, GG would love that. Anivia, a slow team fight, an Ocean Dragon, but they're just gonna have to survive now because they have reached the 10,000 gold deficit to their opponents.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard for them to be able to come back from this deficit. But we've seen a little bit of light at the end of the darkness. And that was that bottom, I want to say, team fight 4v4 that happened at the inhibitor turret. The Anivia was the last remaining member alive. Besides Lost in Thoughts, I believe.
Yeah, but the problem for that then was it was less OGEC playing well and more the Weekend Warriors overextending themselves. I mean, they were at less than a quarter HP and were basically turret diving. Like, that's obviously a little bit of arrogance, which in some ways is rightfully deserved being this far ahead. But you should never play like that consistently, just because I don't think it's a good way to ensure victory. So hopefully they'll play it a little bit slower. And I think the next thing on their mind is going to be that Baron. It is spawning relatively soon. So I think they might just push this in, back off it, and they will be good to go. As a stun landing on to the Pumpkinator, gets him low, but not able to pick up the kill just yet as the Weekend Warrior is just putting on pressure.
Yeah, a bit of pressure now, a fight coming through.
Yeah, Hecarim going in there. They look for Dino a little bit there. As the Death Zone comes through, that is going to be the Rammus falling very early. But he's overpushed himself a lot. He's going to go down here. An overextension of the mid lane there for the side of Weekend Warriors. And now a counter against them too. But it's denied the Ram thanks to Predalog there. The damage is now coming through there from both sides. But it is going to be GG backing away. They can lose more members. And Predalog is still tanking the turrets. He doesn't give a damn. The Zhonya's not even required. For our Mordekaiser, the Nexus turrets are now under fire.
Yeah, they can't deal with this one. It's zone control and arcane shit. They're not going to be able to clear this out quick enough.
No. They're going to get engaged and they'll delete Lucifer, but it doesn't matter. The turret are gone. The Nexus is under fire, and the Weekend Warriors will be punching the W in the first round of tonight's tournament there. With a slow start, but were able to accuse themselves of victory.
Yeah, beautiful plays and beautiful push. It was a really good decision for their team to decide to go towards that open inhibitor because, I mean, there's no turret to be able to defend that. There's no sixth member in the turret to be able to go for that team fight, as well as the fact that OGEC was shoving in the bot side. I don't think OGEC should have been there, so far pushed out without having teleport to be able to join the rest of his team. OGEC joined late, had to recall, and wasn't able to be able to set up wave clear for that top side, as well as just be able to zone them off.
And I think a biggest thing to take out of that is the setup. The composition that GoGayal Gaming have set up requires so much setup before the fight is allowed to start. Anivia needs to be in the right position while all her cooldowns available. The Ornn and the Rammus also need to be available relatively nearby in order to, if they get past the Anivia zone control, to stop them from properly engaging on the Anivia. The issue is that oftentimes that was not the case. And in the scenarios where Dino and Maple weren't able to do it, Pumpkinator and Kalina couldn't provide a whole lot to them because they haven't got a lot of crowd control. They have Poke, but at that point, the fight's typically already decided. So, a little bit of an odd team comp, and unfortunately, not executed to the level it needed to be if it was going to work in this match.
Yeah, I do think that it was more of a counter pick rather than, setting up for their own team fight and be able to set up for their own victory. I mean, yeah, counter picks are a good composition to be able to, counter some.
Especially like blind pick the Anivia first pick as well.
Yes, but the rest of the team.
Yes.
Yeah. No. Okay, so the Anivia was a blind pick. Anivia is a good mid
Yeah.
laner, wave clear, and increased damage with the Leandries now. And safety with Zhonya's. But, I mean, you've also got the heavy poke comp into this bot lane, and then you've also got high tank damage threats, quote unquote, from the Ornn and the Rammus. They played reactively, they shouldn't have.
Well, that is going to be the first round of the night done and dusted there with the Weekend Warriors moving on to the next round, guys. So do not go anywhere as round number 2 will be beginning very shortly.
You kept rolling snake eyes. Fellow armsmen, I ask you, will you follow me tonight to break their spine and reclaim what once was mine? Those cravens backstabbed me, deceived me. Never shall I tolerate their crimes again. Now let the hunt begin. 7,000 souls scared and daunted, such a tale of woe. Not too long ago, this village was a golden scene of hope. Call down the reckoning to bring back hope and peace, restore our Gloria to live forever. listen, fellow warriors, I ask you, should my campaign come to an end? There's way more to avenge. 15 million souls living in this realm without much hope. Not too long ago, this kingdom was a golden state of hope. Call down the reckoning to bring back hope and peace, restore our Gloria to live forever. Bring down the dark regime. I know how to unleash eternal power. Lead us to order. I am the light bringer. Call down the reckoning to bring back hope and peace, restore our Gloria to live forever. Call down the reckoning to bring back hope and peace, restore our Gloria to live forever. Bring down the dark regime. You know how to unleash eternal power. Lead us to order. I am the light bringer.
And welcome everybody to game number 2 here, where the Weekend Warriors will have advanced and now have to face off against Sonic Boom for our second match of the night. I am still Ewan Midnight Reed, still joined by Benjamin Tico Lee for our second game here, and a lot slower through the pick and ban now, so I guess we can take our time to look at them. Ornn is the first ban here, a bit boring, and the Kha'Zix as well, one of those super annoying assassin junglers which are all the rage right now.
Oh, definitely, especially with the Duskblade thing that they put in, well, preseason, but it's still relatively new. You go invisible for a couple seconds. Like, okay, that's fine. Give Kha'Zix more invisibility, sure. And a lot of the assassins more invisibility. Rengar, Talon.
Everything that's an assassin has now invisibility. It's
Yeah.
brilliant. Coming through there. The other two bans so far are Nivea, unsurprisingly there, and Malphite is the final ban taken away by Sonic Boom. On the other side, another two junglers really focusing down Lu Bu. I don't really blame them. To be honest, Lu Bu is a terrifying jungler. The issue is you don't have enough bans. You can ban pretty much all of the top tier junglers and you'll still get something like a Hecarim or a Graves, which is exactly what's happened here. Lu Bu on the Hecarim, again, not enough bans.
No. I mean, you can put all 5 bans into one player, but they're still going to be able to find a way to be able to pick a champion.
Exactly.
Right? That's why you have a champion pool of 6.
Ooh, interesting here from this side that an early Nunu lock-in here, you would assume it is going to be in the jungle role, because where else do you play Nunu other than, yeah, Predator full movement speed mid, but that's because you're disgusting, Tico.
No, I mean, you don't have to play a Predator full movement speed. I mean,
But you do.
you can play Nunu in the mid lane. All you just do is sustain the lane and roam.
Maybe, but I'm not a fan of it blind. Either way, I'm not a fan of it blind, so I'm a little critical on it. The Nunu and the Shen locked in here from the side of Weekend Warriors does tell us it's going to be there's going to definitely be focused on Lost and Uwu for damage output. So Wasteman going for that support role this game, and a nice and slow pick and ban through here as Alistair and Aatrox are the locks in here for Sonic Boom. And now I feel like you have to lock in your support here for Lucifer. Because what else are you locking here?
It is definitely an option there, but you can also go with it as synergy choice as well for either the top or the mid or the jungle, depending on where this unit is going. But Duskblade MF.
I don't like Misfortune. I cannot be enough vocal about how much I dislike Misfortune. Yes, I know she's strong. Yes, I know she's relevant. But God, I hate seeing her right now. Her kit, it doesn't... I could go on a rant about Misfortune. Anyway, I'm gonna push past that, because I don't think anyone wants to hear me rant about half an hour about an old champion. The bans come through here. The Samira, I love as a ban. Samira is a good solution to Misfortune, because the moment you get on top of her, the Misfortune becomes irrelevant of a champion. And the typical Envy getting his Malzahar ban meme joke here. You guys, I'm sure you guys in the community can insert it yourself. You don't need your handheld in that one.
Yeah, I mean, we all know of the Malzahar in the mid lane, so I mean, it's a good time to be able to ban that. But I mean, that's not the only champion that he plays, right? I mean, Envy can play other champions, but that is probably one of Envy's most proficient champions.
It's his signature.
Yeah, 100%. One trick you could even call it, but
but he's got others, and now the question becomes, I think you have to lock in your support here for Lucifer. You want to keep that mid lane blind pick for as long as possible. And then what do you pair it with Misfortune? There are quite a few options here. Never mind, they're just going to completely ignore what I'm saying here. They have in fact locked in the Orianna. It does identify that we are getting a very signature team fight style comp coming out of the Weekend Warriors, and I kind of wouldn't be surprised if you lock in a Leona here for Lucifer again, because that is a quintessential team fight composition. If Weekend Warriors do decide to go that way, you've got them AoE from, you've got Solar Time in the bottom lane, and then pair that up with an Orianna, who's again signature for team fights.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge wombo combo coming out from the Weekend Warriors right now. You've got Orianna Shockwave, ball delivery system by the Shen or the Nunu, and then you can pair that on top with a Bullet Time. Interesting choice of the bot lane, but we'll get to that later. They picked the Orianna away from Envy of Me. He has shown a little bit of time onto the Orianna as well, but with the Vayne in the bot lane, what do we think?
Well, it's a bit of a rough matchup. The Misfortune is more than capable of harassing down any short-range champion, and you have to put yourself in constant positions to get double upped on. That is a Shen support. We completely overlooked the fact that Shen can be played as a support. Oh, I know I did. I absolutely got baited in by that.
I want to say that I didn't get baited by it. I knew 100% that I was going to be in the support role, but
that's a lie, and we both know it.
That is true. And it's actually a really good support pick as well, and it played. I think that Sonic Boom played into the hands of the Weekend Warriors Academy team.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, okay, look, Vayne does really well in terms of against tanks. The problem is she needs to be able to hit them to be able to do so. And the Spirit's Refuge on the Shen just does not allow the Vayne to be able to get 3 stacks of her Silver Bolts to be able to get that true damage off.
And if the Alistair in Trigger's hand does decide to engage, you have a lot of room. You can re-engage with Shen's taunt onto Ronald's Vayne, assuming he doesn't dodge it. You can disengage. If he engages onto Shen, Shen can disengage, no problem. And if you hit the MF, well, if Alice is successfully able to engage on Misfortune, a mistake has been made. So that bottom lane is going to be very interesting, especially because I'm very curious how Ronald plays it on the Vayne. Because you have to be so careful about the backline minions, because you don't want to get doubled up with a Misfortune. You have to be careful about taking free poke damage, because every Misfortune loves to run Comet and start with Make It Rain and just poke you down incessantly. But if you don't get close, you can't farm because you're Vayne. So I'm not a fan of the matchup, but we'll see how Ronald can play the other matchup, which is super, super fun. Top lane. That last pick, Aurelia, should theoretically just take Manu's Aatrox to town, and he's not going to get a return phone call in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of how the Aurelia plays it around. She's got so much mobility. Aatrox is going to find it hard to be able to land any of his Qs, just because two of them are such linear skill shots, and then, not linear, but they're so easily able to be dodged, as well as the fact that he's got instant mobility to any minion, and this is going to be hard. She can probably out-sustain as well.
Typically, yes. Especially when she gets her...
Conqueror stacked up.
Or not even a Conqueror, just her passive. When she uses... Oh, God, I forget how the passive works. But even when she queues X number of minions, she'll then just get free healing.
Yeah.
It's discussing when she gets that queue set up ready to go, which is very easy to do. So I feel like early game is a little bit rough because Aatrox just has better stat lines early, I'm pretty sure, as well as just he has that innate sustain early. But I say after the first recall, Aurelia picks up that early Sheen, because all Aurelias pick up an early Sheen, and they are just going to go to town on there. So it should be hard for Manu, assuming, and a lot of this early game is going to be on, I think, Lubu and that Hecarim. He's a damn good jungler. He's got a damn good jungle champion in his hands. His impact in the early game is very, very important. Now, yes, he's playing a champion that loves to farm because he gets to find Sundra, but I think he's going to be forced to be proactive early.
Yeah, I am going to agree with you, but there is a little bit more we can talk about on Lubu, on the Hecarim. So we will have to talk about that later now that the spectator delay is coming towards an end. So guys, I'm going to take this one away from you, Midnight. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with game number 2 between Sonic Boom and Weekend Warriors.
You traitor.
We look off the edge till the waves come crashing in, and we say our goodbyes to the tides that might have been. When the sky is getting dark and we're broken in our hearts, when we build our own demise, from the ashes we will rise. When the world is falling down, will you be my solid ground? When the world is falling down, will you be my solid ground?
And welcome, everyone, to game number 2 here. We have Sonic Boom and the Weekend Warriors facing off against each other after what was a slow, but I think very tactical pick and ban there, where the Shen was locked in nice and early from the side of Weekend Warriors, and then the bait and switch, throw it in the bot lane, get Predator and Aurelia in order to bully in the top lane here. And I think that's going to be, again, my key matchup for this game is going to be up in that top lane, because once an Aurelia gets rolling, as much as I think the champion is a disgusting mess that I never want to see in any of my games ever again, if you can play her well, as much as I hate you for being able to do it, it is a very impactful champion. Cannot believe I had to say that out loud.
And we're talking about the misfortune, right?
No, the Aurelia.
Okay.
No, I'm not even touching the misfortune. You do not want me to touch the misfortune today, boy.
But I mean, the exact same thing can be applied to the misfortune as well. She's so impactful. She's got the lane dominance. Maybe not as much of a bully as Jhin is, but still able to do quite a significant amount of backline damage in terms of just being able to get, ignore the minions or utilize your minions against you. And you just need to be weary of that. You can't stay traditionally behind your minions anymore because of a champion like Misfortune.
Yeah, and it's almost off-putting to be like, well, this is how I normally play, and then you realize that's not how you're allowed to play anymore. So we'll see how Roland does in that bottom lane there. As so far, neither jungler doing anything too cheeky, doing a quite heavy clear, which is very standard for both of them. Nunu loves to get a little bit tanky and then just start invading the whole time, and of course, Hecarim really, I would say, needs the Divine Sunderer to really get online. His level 2 hit in bot lane. You saw Lucifer looking for something, but didn't feel confident to engage.
Yeah, no, you have to respect the level 2, especially against the Shen Misfortune. They have so much that they can do against the level 1 pair of an Alistar Vayne, because, I mean, what's an Alistar going to do? Headbutt? That's it. Like, he can't even pulverize. He can't even do his full combo at level 1. It's just a headbutt. Or pulverize.
Have you seen those ones where you, like, flash knock up, and then you, like, headbutt them back into your tower as you hit level 2 on that flash?
Oh.
It's a quality play that I recommend you try and fail 5 games in a row. Long story.
And then get it, and then show off.
And then get it, and then pretend it's the first time you did it.
Yeah, 100%.
Biggest brain play there.
Yeah, you're just too good at it.
As so far, the junglers may be butting heads. And ironically, I think it's actually good for Sonic Boom's jungler here, because Uwu is in a rough matchup, because Syndra has kill threat and priority, and will be able to roam first if the turn saves him. Because look at that. Envy is just wailing away on Uwu, and rightly so, Syndra has such a good time in this matchup against Orianna, especially early game.
Yeah, I mean, Orianna is more of a control mage, making sure that she sets up for the rest of her team. Sort of a supportive mid lane, but maybe not as supportive as, I don't know, maybe a
It's not it's no Janna or Karma, but in essence, it's I'm playing for my team.
Yeah.
While Syndra is I'm playing for me and to bully one person on the enemy team. So, a little bit of a difference there is being a Predalock. We talked about the mobility that this champion has to offer, and it's just so obnoxious to witness. I hate this.
Yeah, just being able to battle dance around everywhere. That's the right one, right? Oh, in comes Nunu though.
Yeah, but there's no CC available just yet. He does dive backwards there. That should be able to get a disengage unless they want to commit. Gets the stun down, but they can't risk committing to that one. Man, you still had access to his flash, so nice trigger discipline from the side of the Weekend Warriors.
Yeah, no, I do respect the amount of drift that we saw from Wasteman though. It was sort of going in the wrong direction. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna drift so hard it's gonna hurt him, and it did, but not too much to kill him.
Trust the Nunu player to respect the drift.
Yeah.
In that top
You
lane.
gotta respect the drift. It's like, who doesn't like Tokyo Drift? Don't answer that.
Yeah, no, I don't think you'll be a fan of me if I give you my honest answer of that movie.
Fast and Furious? Like
No.
any of the recent ones?
I refuse to watch Fast and Furious because I have self-respect. Yes, you can at me in chat for that one.
Yeah, start at Even though there's like 20 million gears in each car, you still have to respect.
Alright, so this game has been really slow, especially when you compare it to most games in the scene. But actually, I think it's a really, really good decision, and ironically for both sides. Because Weekend Warriors, we mentioned it before, have the almost a quintessential team fight style comp. We got AoE from both their mid as well as their top laner. That is Rude Uwu. Oh no, Envy has to flash early. He's not able to get out of the taunt there. This is actually a disaster. If he gets killed here for first blood, the Bloodthirsty support gets it. That is still a disaster. Got interrupted in the recall and then goes down despite burning the flash.
And we all know that Envy plays a little bit cocky, but that was a little bit too cocky. You're backing in a bush. You got no vision I'm assuming that his teammates call the fact that the bot lane was missing as well.
Oh, but he's hungry for more. He's got all the mana in the world. Nuwu doesn't have much. He has the flash available, but it was a bait all along because Wasteman lying in over the way there, not able to use the ultimate, and that is 2 kills back to back for the side of the Weekend Warriors.
Yeah, he's not showing any respect to the members of the Weekend Warriors. He needs to get some vision around his lane. The first time he backed and got caught out, didn't have any vision as to where any of the members are, didn't respect the fact that Uwu could just interrupt with a ball. The second one was that he pushed up, didn't know where the Nunu was, didn't respect by having no vision around any of the jungle entrances to mid lane either, and then just died for it.
And it's, in a way, maybe as a top laner, I feel differently. But whenever you TP into a lane, you are not allowed to be aggressive. Not for 10 to 15 seconds, because so typically you will get ganked. Because you are basically telegraphing, hey, I'm TPing in, I've got all this new toys I want to play with, I'm going to be trying to play aggressive. So, an engage coming through here. Lost in Thought is on his own, not able to get CC'd up properly, unfortunately, by Trigger there. But teleporting in is a signal to any jungler worth their salt, saying, hey, I'm playing aggressive, come gank me. So you have to play respectfully, doesn't, and really good job there from Wasteman to identify that, hey, he's going to play aggressive, and Uwu just had to stay around a little bit longer.
Yeah, they managed to pick up the first dragon of the game as well on the side of Sonic Boom. That is the Cloud Drake, 10% cooldown reduction on those ultimates. Envy's going to have a good time with that. He's going to love that.
The kill threat that he can push forwards is going to be so good, but he's not allowed to do it until at least the Lost Chapter. So he's got to wait a little bit longer and one more recall before he can really start putting the pressure on to Uwu in that middle lane. And that's going to be a little bit of a problem because top lane ain't exactly going brilliantly for Sonic Boom either, with the Aurelia having obviously grabbed an early execution score, the correct decision against anyone who heals, such as, you know, again, the Aatrox, the Mundo, the Nasus, a brilliant decision there. And bottom lane, even in CS, but Lost in Thought is usually the one pushing up. So Sonic Boom have almost, I want to say, lost priority around the map, and they're going to have to do something like, I'd say, engage bottom lane right now, because that's heartbreaking to witness there. But Envious forced away. That's a tilter.
It is a little bit. I think they overestimated how far you can get with a Shin.
And here it is. Yeah. Lost in Thought. He's not allowed to be. You remember in Pick and Ban, Deco, how when we were talking about Vayne Alistair, we were talking about if Misfortune gets engaged with one, a mistake has already been made. Is exactly what we're witnessing here. Finally has backup, and now the dive from Lucifer might backfire, but that Spirit's Refuge nullifying all of Roland's damage.
That's a little bit of a tilter as well, but it does its job. And as you were saying before, yeah, you have to respect it. The hard engage coming out from the Vayne Alistair. I think that if you are leaving, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, talk about engage. Predalock looking for more here, but he doesn't have much more CC than this. He's going to need his backup. But unfortunately, Predalock engaged 5 seconds too early. If he'd have waited for Nunu to be a little bit closer, fantastic attempt. Unfortunately, the early bird went a little bit too early here as... The two supports basically shaking hands.
Yeah, a gentleman's agreement in the supports. I mean, these two are tanky. I don't think there's too much that each of these supports can do to each other, but I think that was an advantageous for the Vayne.
Uwu is way too far forward. He's gone. Goodbye as Trigger's Ignite picks up the kill. And I'm going to have to be polite about this, but why were you there?
It's a game of respect, I think, or their lack of. The Misfortune does respect a little bit. There's a lot of ganking up in the top side now.
Yeah, Manu's getting bullied a lot here, rightfully so, because they need this Aurelia to be relevant. So any number of ganks, so they can make it work, get Predalock ahead on this Aurelia. Mid-game, imagine if these ganks have been successful, and it's an 0-3 Aatrox. How is an 0-3 Aatrox meant to kill an Aurelia that has gotten 3 kills worth of even just assist gold? It's not happening. Especially, that turret plating too. Top lane is hungry for gold.
Yeah, they got a lot from that one as well, and they're gonna get even more. Teleport is down from the Aatrox, as a sign of, disrespect. And so they have to just be able to push in, get another turret, and Rift Tail, that's brought it down to one.
Actually going to dive this? They definitely are. With Envious arriving, they're signaling that they try to run away. Lost in Thoughts is going to die here. It does flash nice and early, but I don't think it's going to matter. Lucifer with a beautiful taunt, and Uwu does get mispositioned there. They are spreading up quite nicely though, so no easy shockwave coming through on the back end. Lulu gets caught into the bullet time there. Will go down. That's a 3v4. They're going to try to run for it, but Sonic is not going to get out alive as Triggered is the next victim of the site. A beautiful CC combination to take him down. Envy and Roland low on meta and going to get engaged on Wasteland coming through. The Stand United coming through. The Ruler Point as well. They need to make a decision who they're going to target on. Roland is going to be the target. They will get down the Vayne. And now Envy, no mana, no way to get out in one piece. Is just going to get run down. And do you want to sing the eulogy, or should we just witness as Uwu auto attacks his enemy to death? Very sad there. Sonic took way too long to perform their dive.
I think they did. They were spotted out on some wards as well. They didn't clear out the control ward, which is towards the top of towards the entrance of the jungle of the Weekend Warriors. So they got spotted out. They knew exactly that they were there for a dive, and we saw two members rotate. One being the jungler of the Nunu. He backed, and he's like, "Oh, there are members. Let's start snowballing." And then the Orianna sees that the Syndra's there, rotates, and they're able to get a counter dive.
Part of the reason dives like that work is because they're not seen. The issue is that Luby was seen on a ward in the Tribe Rush, and that's fine because you saw how respectfully Lost and Lucifer were playing. They were hiding under their turret, basically saying, "Okay, you can, we're allowing you to dive," but then they didn't dive. They allowed another minion wave to come in. They dropped another ward. They spotted Envious. And that is a solid 20 seconds where they're just doing nothing.
Yeah. And it's also the fact that there was such a good delay tactic coming out from Lost in Thoughts as well. Yeah, and Lucifer, they had to burn the flash on the Misfortune, but that was to dodge the Scatter of the Week from the Syndra, which was actually a beautiful thing, one of the best abilities that he had to dodge to be able to survive. Lucifer got caught in it. He's fine. He's tanky.
Yeah.
The heal got popped from Lost in Thoughts just in case Lucifer was going to get down a little low. He wasn't, but it was still able to get them to delay enough. And at that point, Sonic Boom should have disengaged. They shouldn't have committed. But no, they didn't realize that two more members from the Weekend Warriors were rotating. And so they committed a little bit more. And then 1 extra second costed them a couple of their lives.
Yeah. But on the bright side, at least, they are able to be the first ones to this dragon and will be securing dragon number 2. Of course, the Infernal picked up, which means that we have yet another Ocean Soul taking over Summoner's Rift here. And Sonic Boom, despite being 4,000 gold behind and 6 kills down, are ahead in the objective game. And I think that's going to be important, but there's a point where objectives aren't enough. And we are going, if they secure dragon number 3, but are about 6,000 gold down because they're losing fights and they're mispositioning, it's not going to be worthwhile winning the objective game.
So they need to be able to, get back into this one. Their gold deficit is a little bit too big for this stage of the game, but it definitely is comebackable.
Yeah, that's
Never
not.
mind. No.
So, do you remember how I talked about how much I hate earlier?
Yeah.
That is exactly why. He was full HP and then he was no HP. And the only thing then you could have done better was just not be that far up in lane. That's a rough situation to be at. And he's played, I think, really well, considering he's been ganked, 4 or 5 times by the Nunu and died till one of them. And that's because Predator flashed to get the stun secure.
Yeah, you do need to be a little bit cautious when you're in a losing lane. Manu has been doing so well, as we mentioned, just to be able to stay alive. But at this point, I think that you need to send someone else to deal with the Irelia. And honestly, I don't know who can.
Yeah, I think the one person who is going to be a good threat to the Irelia is Lubu. He's just picked up his Divine Sunderer. Hecarim all in all is really hard to take down. But you need to pair that up with Manu's Aatrox. I don't think you can send one person to deal with it. Which then becomes the game of, well, now Predator is allowed to split push to his heart's desire. And there's not a lot that Sonic Boom can do without opening their own, almost opening Pandora's box of punishments.
Yeah. They do need to be a bit more careful mid lane.
Shockwave, not needed, but a beautiful flash there from Envy is scared alive. But again, more pressure where Weekend Warriors are controlling the map.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They've taken the flash away from Envy. Now what? He's going to die if another gank comes out. He doesn't have mobility to
A successful gank. Because we just saw a gank there from dear little Lucifer.
But he was by himself.
It's still a gank. Like, this is a gank. Menu coming in there. He does have Stan Yuno coming through. Lubu is diving in for the back end, but a counter gank coming through may be enough. And also shadows away, leaving Manu on the front line. Could be a little bit just there's Absolute Zero coming out. The Shockwave catches him on the back end. A 3-man scatter of the week will be the death of Lucifer, courtesy of that unleashed power. So a 1-for-1 trade at the end of the day, which I think kind of favors Sonic Boom.
Yeah, it does, but they still are losing in quite a few positions. Bot lane's still holding out with a wave clear from Lost in Thoughts. Top lane's been shoved in, minions crashing into the base, and they've got priority around this Baron pit. Yeah, I don't think they want to be picking up Baron this early on. Oh, actually, they can't. But they still have the vision around the Scuttle Crab. Rift Herald, I believe, is up.
Looks like, yeah, it has to be with Nunu hanging around there. We'll take a, yeah, it is.
Yeah. So it's not Baron, but it's still the next best thing that pops up in Baron bit. But off the back of that fight, that's the cause of what off the back of that fight. They might have lost in terms of that mid lane, but they still got minions shoved in top lane, mid lane. Bot lane is dealing by itself, and Rift held in favor of Weekend Warriors.
Yeah. And the next question for them will obviously be, well, where do we drop this Rift Herald? Rift Herald 1 was dropped top lane, and it did a phenomenal job to give Predator Lock what effectively is a 2,000 gold advantage in this top lane matchup alone. Where do you drop it now? I think you go mid lane here. Break open the safety net that is the mid-tier 1, and that makes your life so much easier playing for the dragon that's spawning in less than a minute's time.
Yeah, well, I think they do need to open up the base a little bit, though. What are we looking at, Midnight?
I'm seeing Gale Force on the Misfortune. That is not standard. Typically, you go for more a lethality build. The Eclipse is the most popular item, as well as a tier in the early game. But clearly, the Gale Force, a little bit of protection is triggered, is getting gauged upon there. He does pop that Unbreakable Will, but his body may just break anyway, as Wasteman forced to disengage both sides, not getting any kills either way. But Predalock has roamed down, while Manu will be forced to teleport if he's still low on this one. So, at least for now, Weekend Warriors are in a good position to take this objective.
They definitely are good to start the fight as well with a 4v5, and you do have to wait for that teleport to be completed as well to be able to get a successful teleport off. So if they just want to get as much priority, as many bodies around this dragon to start the fight. If they want to do anything, Manu has to start teleporting now.
Lubu's going in there for the fight now. Can he make it work? The dragon is low, but not stolen away as the rest of Sonic Boom are filtering in, but they've already lost one. Shockwave misses everything, but Wasteman is hungry for blood, diving in forward there. Roland is cutting out the best that he can. Envious can't do much, but watch as his AD carry is able to cut it out, but Envy will die going the wrong way. But Roland, despite everything in the kitchen sink being thrown at him, gets out in one piece.
Yeah, and all while this has been happening, I think Sonic Boom has decided, you know what? There's no point in fighting this. We're not going to be able to secure this dragon. Let's make sure that the Aatrox keeps pushing up topside and get at least some gold income into the rest of the team.
One problem with that. What is faster? A single Aatrox or 4 champions with a Rift Herald?
A single Aatrox.
Aatrox has already abandoned the race. He's coming home to try and hold it, but there is a very real possibility of a dive here coming through there. The bullet time to buy nothing but room as the turret is getting low, but a beautiful engagement ticket might be enough there. Lubu wanting a little bit more onto there, but the TP coming from the backside. Maybe it is us. They do manage to cut down Uwu, but it may not be enough. The Predalock is now dived to the backline. Lubu is trying the best that he can. Lost in Thought has in fact been abandoned, and the Weekend Warriors overstaying themselves just a little bit.
Yeah, but they managed to get 2 turrets in the bot side, opening up the map a lot giving a lot more priority around these dragons for them to be able to get some wards down. The next objective that they need to take is this mid lane. And I feel like maybe they should have dropped in mid lane. They've got more opportunities to back away from the fight because second tier turret in the bot side is a little bit deep. But they still managed to get two either way, so a good Rift Hell drop anyway. But to open up the map even more, I feel like the mid lane would have been a better option.
I agree with you. I actually think despite getting the 2 turret spot lane, it was the wrong decision. Purely because if you put Predlock down there, it's only a matter of time until he gets that objective one way or the other. So I understand the logic of it. They were on the momentum. They needed to do it to basically force Manu to stop pushing top lane. But I think if you just recall Predator, have him go top lane, go back, rotate back to mid, as we see MVS immediately flash to safety, and then rotate through there, it would be the better all-around decision. Like, again, not that what they did was bad, it just isn't optimal is what I was looking for.
Definitely. I mean, yeah, I do agree with you. Just to add on to the point, I mean, Aurelia, you don't really want to see her mid lane, solo pushing mid lane.
No, God.
That's something the rest of the team can do. So yeah, just put her on the side wave. She'll take 2 turrets. She's already done one on the top side. Just give her time and she'll keep doing that.
Envy's getting torn up. Envy's in trouble. Has no safety. And it will go down. But now the rest of the team comes in there. Deletion on Lost and Thorsay. The shield comes through, but it's not enough. As Triggered is just playing with Lucifer. Thankfully, the snowball does get Lucifer out alive there. Lubu in a little bit of trouble because Lubu's coming for the back end of the fight there. Uwu has joined the fight there. Shockwave is available, but chooses to hold on to the ability for now as the mid lane turret is about to crumble the dust.
No, they gotta respect this one. And this is sort of what we were hoping to see with the Rift Herald. But they're still going to be able to do so with the rest of their team. So smart decision. Not going to be able to take the second tier, but it's fine. Actually, I don't know. No,
they're not going to take it, but they're putting pressure onto the objective here. Manu is not grouping right now. It's a little alarming. Yes, he's behind by a significant margin, but he's constantly being pushed on the side lane duty, but it's not becoming of anything. He's managed to grab, I think, 1 turret off side lane duty properly. That means he even needs to be building, I think, this tank, and yes, being a very bad tank, or, I don't know, I'm just not a fan of fully committing to a split push when the moment your opposite number shows up, you just melt like pudding.
The problem with going tank on the Aatrox, and I do get the point where you say it's not going to be a very good tank, but if he does start to go tank, that's the point where he's just given up. All he's going to be doing as a tank on an Aatrox is just disrupting the backline, and it's inevitable he is going to die. Because there is so much in terms of just tank shred on the side of Weekend Warriors with the Blade of the Ruined King on Predator Law. You've also got just a solid amount of damage from Lost in Thoughts.
Yeah. It's not to say that this is like I'm just thinking there's no point building damage because you're already irrelevant on the side lane split push. But I think it's a more pressing issue. Dragon spawning in less than 10 seconds, Tico. This is the big one here because Sonic Boom, they're going to need to contest this, but they are down 4,000 gold. They're going to have to tackle this from the same direction. It looks like it's going to be a fight on the bottom half of the river.
Yeah, they're really positioning for this one. Yeah, and it's Ocean Drake. If you give Weekend Warriors 2, that's going to be detrimental.
And Weekend Warriors are looking for, but Triggered has access to the backline, and there's no other follow-up, unfortunately. Now the team is pedaling through there. Triggered's ult is buying face, a beautiful scout of the week, but it's just not enough damage right now. Roland finally comes that final hour, but it might be his. He's 3-shot down! And now the backline of Sonic Boom has gone boom. They are all dead. Manu trying to do the best that he can to be disruptive, but unfortunately, it just doesn't matter. 3 kills for the Aurelia herself. Manu, the only survivor of the fight. And that's only because the Grievous Moves arrives in the form of a very angry Aurelian Dancer. The Ignite down, the Ace coming through there, and Weekend Warriors wrap the fight up nicely.
Very, very quickly done. And the Aurelia was just on the entire backline. Got a triple kill. A little bit off screen, but, or maybe on screen for the stream, but they did so much in terms of not being able to deal with Predator Lock. He was on 3 members pretty much by himself towards the end of that one. And all the rest of his team had to do was just delay the main people that could deal with the Aurelia.
And part of also a problem is, I think a brilliant solution to the Aurelia is, oddly, the Alistar. He's got enough crowd control to disrupt her ability to assassinate Roland. Like, again, 3 hits, 1 Q, 2 auto attacks, and Roland was just torn apart. And that whole time triggered, he got a great engage. The problem with it is there was 0 follow-up, it was overextended, and his team obviously didn't want to do it. So at that point, you either need to not go with the engage at all, or the shot caller of the team just needs to say, go. And either way what happened, it didn't work out too well, as Uwu is just destroyed. I don't know why he's alone.
No, neither. Getting control over the Baron pit, but there's really not much you can do walking up that far. And they do have priority Sonic Boom over this Baron. Even though there's some vision around there, they do need to be careful, though. There's a lot of damage threat coming out from Predalon.
Yeah, bullet time going there. Only lands on a few members triggered. Use that ult nice and early here. Lucifer trying to buy time as Predalon and Lost and Force, 2 priority members here. The Scatter of the Week does not land on any priority targets, but neither does the Vanguard's Edge, actually. And Manu now charging forward. That condemn Knockout, but a beautiful 2-man knockout. That is able to delete Lost and Force. Predalon trying to fight time. Does go into the engage, but gets pushed into the wall. Goodbye. Not this he does! Are you kidding me, Predalon? That is disgusting. And the rest of the team now piling in. It is a scrap fest of a fight here as Lucifer and Wasteman trying to fight off 3v2 because they got TP in the backline there. Ubu says, hello, what is this going on here, boys? Is going to pick up 1, but is now going to get deleted immediately by Manu. Force a flash of the wall into the waiting arms of Envy as Wasteman goes in, but it may not matter. What a scrappy fight. Ubu does not get caught by the Scatter of the Week. They're forced to keep running, but how far can you run?
Oh, they're still going, though.
A new challenger approaches Wasteman, going back in. Uwu pulled back, dodges the Scatter of the Week thanks to the Infernal Chains. Okay, so, scrappy as hell fight, a ton of people died, no objective taken.
Yeah, and I feel like they dealt with the Aurelia relatively well. However, she's so far ahead that she still took 1 or 2 members with her. The Predator Lock just did so much in terms of disrupting the backline, making sure a lot of the focus wasn't on the rest of his team. And I feel like the disruption from the Aurelia sort of kept most of his team alive. And if it wasn't for the Aurelia, I feel like a lot of the attention would have been focused on the backline. They have the shred to be able to do so, Sonic Boom. And so I feel like getting later into this game, the Weekend Warrior Academy, they have to be very careful of the Bane and her damage potential.
Especially because they put Predalon on side lane duty. Doesn't have teleport, but I think it's the correct decision. Just kill Manu on the side lane. You know you have the damage to do it. So commit to it fully there. And basically, because I don't think they know. Look at the positioning of Sonic. They have no idea that Predalon does not have teleport available. Otherwise, that would be an immediate Baron start with a TP up from Manu.
Yeah.
And there's nothing Predalon can do.
But yeah, Manu.
Yeah, forced pop the ultimate around the hell away.
To be able to get the movement speed buff, and then just ran. I mean, fair enough. You do not want to fight the Aurelia 7-1 with 3 completed items.
Yeah, but who do you want to fight in the team? Because I know you're the man who I fear more than a 7-1 Aurelia. It's the man who has 25 stacks on a Medjai Soul Stealer. That's the man that I fear.
Oh.
Yeah, Wasteman bought a Medjai. I completely missed it. I don't know why he built a Medjai, but
it's working. I mean...
Oh, he's tanky enough, he's not going to die. It works here.
Sunfire Aegis with a dead man's play. Yeah, the man's not going to die anytime soon. Maybe if Ronald had time to free hit, the Nunu would go down relatively quickly, but problem is, it doesn't have time to breathe whenever a team fight starts.
Exactly, and he doesn't have the time to waste putting those 7 to 9 auto attacks into the Nunu when he needs to put them into someone else of higher priorities, such as Predlock or even Uwu. So he just doesn't have the time to deal with that. TP coming through here from Envious. This is, of course, Dragon number 5 of the game. Very important for both these teams. And once again, it will be a fight in the same place as before. Now, let's see if Trigger can get an engage as this team actually follows up on.
Yeah, they're playing a little bit with respect. The Weekend Warrior Academy team playing this one relatively safe, but vision is there. I don't think any team's going to be able to start a fight without anyone without being spotted.
Yeah, but the advantage here is Nunu. He's got the objective secured. He should be fine. Oh, the Monaco Ascension used very early. They are going in, but they can't get the priority numbers. They got onto the shed. But is it going to be enough? Ubu is deleted. No shockwave to speak of there, as Bullet Time just doesn't have the damage output either. The Dragon is secured. Sonic Boom. That was a phenomenal way to kick off a team fight.
Yeah, and they managed to secure the Dragon as well. Good steal, I think, coming out from Lubu. I mean, one of the main reasons why you pick Nunu in the jungle is because of your objective steal potential with the Chomp as well as the Smite. But unfortunately, that didn't come through this time, and the Ocean Drake is picked up by Sonic Boom.
I know. Part of the reason that is because Wasteman had to leave the objective to go babysit Lost in Thought. Because Lucifer accidentally found himself in the enemy backline. Doesn't know how that happened. Uwu got deleted in that fight thanks to a Scatter of the Weak and then an Unleashed Power from MVS doing the Syndra one button thing that you always expect from a Syndra.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Wasteman isn't in position to contest the objective. The other members of his team are just out of position, where we finally got to see Roland free hit Predator Lock and see how that meant. And suddenly they're like, well, crap, we've just straight up lost the objective, and now in 5 minutes we've got a serious problem.
But the most important thing is that Wasteman still has 25 stacks on his main drive.
Yes.
So we're all good.
Yes, obviously.
Maybe surprise an enemy champion with a Nunu Bushman.
I think you should, but it's not going to work.
No.
I think the best thing for Weekend Warriors to do here is to use the... I'm trying to think of a fancy name. Basically, put the ball on Nunu, Nunu balls forward, Shockwave on the ball.
Good teleport from the edge.
Yeah, they've got to. And
a little late.
yeah, but now they're going to have to run away. Shockwave to buy time. They really want to commit to this. Uwu, he's just buying space here. They need to make the decision. Are they going to focus the objective? The objective is low, but it's taking them so damn long to kill it. Uwu does not, of course, have that Shockwave at 3,000 HP to burn through. A beautiful Scatter of the Weak. They're now diving in on top of the bed. They're able to steal it away! And now this could be disaster. The Weekend Warriors have to fight it off, but they're in a choke point with a misfortune, and that's always ending bad for them. As the Oriana joins into the back end of the fight. MVS is a bit far forward, has to be careful. A large Scatter of the Weak, but now Roland is free hitting once again. The Weekend Warriors have overstayed. They had to make a decision. They had to disengage after the CP was done, but instead they stayed and they got punished.
They were... I'm lost for words. That was a beautiful steal coming out from the Sonic Boom side. Lubu, amazing smite to be able to take that away from Wasteman. He's doing so well to secure these objectives away from the opposing team, as well as the fact that the Weekend Warriors did so much to be able to delay the fight. However, they used some essential ultimates at the start of that. That wasn't in the team fight. They didn't really impact it. The Shockwave was used to, delay. It wasn't used as a team fight. We didn't see the ultimate coming out from the Nunu. Bullet time was used, but they only managed to get one member off the back of that. It was
A disaster.
They were very separated and they weren't able to work together, and they were stuck in a choke point.
Exactly. And also, remember, the Hecarim ult's AoE. It's a fear. You can't be that lazy. After what has been really good play out of the Weekend Warriors, one lapse in judgment has cost them so much. They're now down in gold, down in dragons, and now down in barons, and now in a minute and a half, they're going to have to fight again, and that is going to be in their minds. They need to ensure that they're using their abilities on the proper priority targets. That Shockwave needs to hit, and it needs to hit more than one person. So, we'll see how that goes there, as Lucifer might be getting caught out. His Shockwave lands on multiple members here, but it makes not be enough. Bullet time gets interrupted as Predlock trying to get in from the sideline there. A bit more of a split side there. Roland is doing what he can there, but he's stuck into the wall. A double Zhonya's to buy time there, but will it be enough? MVS on one side of the fight. Roland there, but Roland's already gone. MVS is going to die in the fight there. Such a scrappy, broken up fight, but it actually is looking pretty decent for Weekend Warriors. They're pretty damn tanky, but it may not be enough. Lubu never died. This Hecarim, Divine Sunderer, this Hecarim with the Death's Dance can fight forever in the melee scrap. The flash for safety to run the hell away from danger. The smite, oh my god.
What fight?
But still, the disaster for Weekend Warriors that was.
Yeah, Wasteman's got a little bit too much health, but Lubu doesn't care. He's going to be able to take the turret. And that was definitely a scrappy fight. They wanted to get some priority around this dragon. However, they weren't able to do so. They tried to get some vision priority, and they weren't able to take the fight. The bullet time, the most essential spell. This was in the jungle. This was a perfect setup for the bullet time to be able to get maximum damage. However,
Got interrupted.
got interrupted by Hecarim's ultimate.
Yeah. That's heartbreaking because that ultimate could have turned the fight, but it didn't. And now we're seeing what could potentially be a final fight of this game here. Teleport coming through here. Lubu needs to be so careful. He's a level up, but it's against a Nunu, so good luck in that one as the Dragon is started a focus coming through here, but they're being pincered through. This is going to be so dangerous for the Weekend Warriors. They're trying to pile up there, but it's not going to be enough. The Dragon is still fighting down as they are just trying to scrap it up. Their Shockwave not landing on priority members. They do secure them Dragon with the Weekend Warriors, but it may not be enough as finally Man U goes down. Is now 4v4 full time, not landing on too many members. Roland is very far forward, so no! He got his support killed, and now Lubu is trying to be careful. They're envious one shot because he pressed Syndra R, but Lubu is going to go down there, and a beautiful Scatter the Weak stops the flash from Predlock chasing anymore, but Roland, be so careful because we know what Predlock can do to you.
Very, very, as we said, scrappy fight, but that was a lot more even than what we saw in what we've seen in the previous team fights. They managed to pick up the third Ocean Drake. That is going to be very big for their team to be able to sustain in if they are able to sustain some form of siege that we see coming out from Sonic Boom sometime in the future, because they've got a 6-member pushing in the mid lane with these super minions. So they have to be really careful now in terms of just staying alive. They need to utilize all their tools to be able to do so. 3 Ocean Drakes and their tankiness. Keep your distance. Don't go for fights. You've got time. Take it.
These fights are kind of slow, but again, the scrappy nature of them is actually working in favor of Sonic Boom, partly because, again, Weekend Warriors want a structured team fight. They need that bullet time to land on multiple members. They need that shockwave to land on multiple members. And ideally for Predlock, he needs to get multiple members marked so he can jump to them being the typical Aurelia you see in team fights. It's not working the way they want it to. These fights are so almost split. There's almost 2 fights happening at the same time. It's probably the best way to put it.
All the time.
And that is really hard to, if you're a shot caller, it's hard to talk because you're trying to communicate about 2 different fights at 2 different times. And it's impossible to get these big crowd control AoE abilities down if everyone is so split up. It's 2 team fights at once. So they're going to have to, Weekend Warriors in this next objective, which is spawning in less than 30 seconds. Of course, it's Baron number 2. They're going, I think it's Baron number 3 actually. They're going to have to ensure that their battle lines allow them to fight as a group of 5 and not fight as one batch of 2 or one batch of 3.
Yeah, but they have got 2 members down the bot side on the side of Sonic Boom, so you have to be rather careful with that one. But I think that one thing that we haven't mentioned is the fact that Manute has come back into this game and has come back with a ferocity. I mean, this Aatrox is on the back line of the Weekend Warriors, disrupting. Look, he's got so much sustain, and we aren't seeing much in terms. Actually, I lied.
There's quite a bit, but oh, and again coming through. This could be exhausted. They can get Ubu. This could be it, but a beautiful zoning coming in from Wasteman. Buys all the time with the ball. Full time and Shockwave. This could be the fight they were looking for. As Lucifer gets a multi-man taunt there. Lost and Ball doing what he can from the backside, but it's just not enough. It looked so good, but they just couldn't get the damage down.
Yeah, and that's a little bit of a problem that we're seeing from the Weekend Warriors side now. They are lacking in the damage. There's a beautiful combo with the bullet time Shockwave, but it's just a little bit too much tankiness coming out from Sonic Boom with the Alistar, with the Hecarim. And I call them Sado tanks. Sado tanks. It's the Aatrox and the Hecarim. They got so much health to be able to shred through, and I don't think we have much percentage health damage on the side of the Weekend Warriors.
No, we just have Aurelia.
Yeah.
That's not enough in a team fight to single-handedly do it. So what was looking so good of an early game for Weekend Warriors has just fallen out of their hands here as Sonic Boom has done a phenomenal job recovering a gold deficit, a kill deficit, but now ahead in both. And I suppose, guess what we're going to have in less than a minute, Tico? Yet another fight, and this one has all the marbles running on it. But if history repeats itself, then this is looking very good for Sonic Boom.
We shall see, though, because we can't always rely on history to be able to see what the team fights go with. Irelia's up in the top side, has TP, but needs to
they're
be
in groups!
practice.
Okay, never mind. I thought that was going to go far more worse than it did. I got so bloodthirsty for a second. Ubu's ultimate is less than a minute away, though. But that's still so long. By the time the dragon started up and mostly dead, Shockwave will be available again. I think Weekend Warriors have to acknowledge they're not taking the objective. Oh no, if they lose, this is a disaster. Lucifer does survive by the skin of his teeth. He needs that stand united. But now the TP in, now the Shockwave, they're going to go down 1 and 2. What the hell was any of that?
They were way too close. There was no respect. They needed to back away. They do not have the team fight potential with a 2 revive. They had to respect that. They didn't. That's Ocean Soul going in favor of Sonic Boom. They're going to be able to take this Baron, shove down mid, and basically go for the end.
That was the most knee-jerk panic TP I've seen in a long time. Like, it was a response of Lucifer's getting caught TP in. You had a better TP ward in the Tribush. That would have been a fantastic position. Instead, you TP'd right in front of them as a non-tank, and you get brutally, and I think rightfully, punished by that. As the client decides that what we need to look at is the fact the objective is dead, and we're at 40 minutes into the game with likely one team fight left in it. I can still hear people leveling up.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try follow. Okay, what we're gonna do is go to Radio FM. Okay, no, nothing. Okay, so
Cool story. Anyway,
this is how a 40-minute game ends. Are you kidding me?
All right, that is good to hear. But let's review over what we're seeing so far. I mean, Aatrox is doing so much damage on the back line. We're getting quite a bit of priority coming out from Sonic Boom. I would be rather surprised if they back away from this one, but I think they're just waiting for the minions to crash into the base.
Yes. Because they're side lanes. Look at the side lanes.
Yeah.
From what we can see, side lanes are in no position, which is kind of expected for these games. So, but with the Baron, with the Ocean Soul and Double Ocean Dragon to back it up, hard push it in, you have 20 seconds to make it work, and unless you horribly miss position and get caught by a Shockwave bullet time combination, I don't see Weekend Warriors recovering this sort of situation, sadly.
No, I think that if we're going to look at this logically, in theory, Sonic Boom have to finish this game right now. It's a 5v3. They got Baron empowered minions to be able to tank up the turret. As soon as that minion wave crashes, they are going to look for a dive on these two turrets. They have the tankiness to be able to deal with it. So they have the tankiness to be able to do so. So they're just going to be able to pull it.
Yeah.
We are going to go to a short break, however, just because I think a lot of League of Legends has just crashed right now for the casters as well as the broadcasters. So we'll be right back with the second game between Sonic Boom, hopefully, and the Weekend Warriors Academy team. Don't go anywhere.
Timing. It's always the
The night beckons while you dream. A life never lives in peace. As you stand upon the edge, woven by a single thread, and fate may fall down upon you, while the devil is knocking right at your door. So all you restless, each night you hear the drums of war. Awaken, awaken, the voice begins to call you while you hunger. A taste of destiny, searching for. Awaken, awaken, the fight is at your door, so take up the cause. As you stand upon the edge, hanging in the balance, and fate may fall down upon you. The devil is knocking, so are you restless. Each night you hear the drums of war. Awaken, awaken, the voice begins to call you while you hunger. A taste of destiny, searching for. Awaken, awaken, awaken. You know who it is, coming round again. You want a dose of this right now, it's KDA. I'm a goddess with a blade, 소리쳐 wanna eat it. 미치 못하게 loud, 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 loud. I can take you to the top, 절대 멈추지 못해. 내가 끝내주는 bag out, out, out. And when I start to talk like that, oh, you won't know how to react. I'm a picture perfect face with that wild in my veins. You can hear it in my growl, 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 growl. So keep your eyes on me now. 무엇을 보든 좋아할 거야. 나의 소원을 level. 나와 되게 원하는 확신에. We got it all in our hands now. So can you handle what we're all about? We're so tough. Get to show you up.
so scared if I show my feelings for you. Need to know what you're feeling, know what you're feeling. So scared if I show my feelings for you. Can you feel me?
Strangest addiction. I could say I'll quit without any conviction. Broke my own heart this time for believing that a ghost could find a body alive that hasn't seen the other side. So don't call me, I'll find something to escape my mind. Strangest addiction. I could say I'll quit without any conviction. Broke my own heart this time for believing that a ghost could find a body There's a tragedy in every ember. What's the cost when there's no love lost between us? So burn the letters. There's a tragedy in every ember. In every ember. In every ember. Fellow armsmen, I ask you, will you follow me tonight to break their spine and reclaim what once was mine? Those cravens backstabbed me, deceived me. Never shall I tolerate their crimes again. Now let the hunt begin. 7,000 souls scared and daunted, such a tale of woe. Not too long ago, this village was a golden scene of hope. Call down the reckoning to bring back hope and peace, restore our gloria to live forever.
Yeah, I'm lost and numb, cold to the touch. I pretend like I don't remember your name. Every masterpiece built to blasphemy. When I close my eyes, yeah, I still see your face. We were the thunder and the lightning, burning fire that started from the spark. I would spend you just to watch you twirl. It was us against the world. You were the rain falling on my skin. Yeah, I was dying when you pulled me in. I was your rebel and you were my girl. It was us against the world. It was us against the world. It was us against the world. I was your rebel and you were my girl. It was us against the world. We were the thunder and the lightning, burning fire that started from the spark. I would spend you just to watch you twirl. It was us against the world. You were the rain falling on my skin. Yeah, I was dying when you pulled me in. I was your rebel and you were my girl. It was us against the world. It was us against the world. It was us against the world. Yeah, I'm pale gray, all dust and fade. When I call for you, all I hear back is pain. Every song must end, even diamonds fade. When the darkness comes, I count up my mistakes. We were the thunder and the lightning, burning fire that started from the spark. I would spend you just to watch you twirl. It was us against the world. You were the rain falling on my skin. Yeah, I was dying when you pulled me in. I was your rebel and you were my girl. It was us against the world. We were the thunder and the lightning. I was your rebel and you were my girl. It was us against the world. We were the thunder and the lightning, burning fire that started from the spark. I would spend you just to watch you twirl. It was us against the world. You were the rain falling on my skin. Yeah, I was dying when you pulled me in. I was your rebel and you were my girl. It was us against the world.
Yeah, you told me I would have to wait. After all these conversations would result in nothing. Wish my friends and I could celebrate, but these plans keep there's always something. Say that you want me when I'm in the room. Then when I ask you, tell me it's too soon. Guess all your words were too good to be true. I'm done waiting, sick of saving all my hope tonight. 'Cause your empty promises don't satisfy. No more compromise, 'cause I don't need you to act like we're alright. Act like we're alright. Act like we're alright. Call your number, never pick it up. Even though last week you said we spend the day together. Saying sorry, but I've had enough. It's a toxic situation, you can't make it better. Say that you want me when I'm in the room. Then when I ask you, tell me it's too soon. Guess all your words were too good to be true. I'm done waiting, sick of saving all my hope tonight. 'Cause your empty promises don't satisfy. No more compromise, 'cause I don't need you to act like we're alright. Act like we're alright. Too many chances at redemption. Think it's about time I learned my lesson. No more compromise, 'cause your empty promises don't satisfy.
We stand and watch the world go up in flames. We fight for love until we die in vain. When the sky is getting dark and we're broken in our hearts, when we build our own demise, from the ashes we will rise. When the world is falling down, will you be my solid ground? When the world is falling down, will you be my solid ground? Be my solid We look off the edge till the waves come crashing in, and we say our goodbyes to the tides that might have been. When the sky is getting dark and we're broken in our hearts, when we build our own demise, from the ashes we will rise. When the world is falling down, will you be I'm running away from the past I left behind. I'm looking for answers, but I'm blinded by the light. I'm lost in the music, and I stay here for the night. I promise I'll be gone in the morning, out of sight and out of mind. Snowbound. The night beckons while you dream. A life never lives in peace. As you stand upon the edge, woven by a single thread, and fate may fall down upon you, while the devil is knocking right at your door. So all you restless, each night you hear the drums of war. Awaken, awaken, the voice begins to call you while you hunger. A taste of destiny searching for. Awaken, awaken, the fight is at your door, so take up the cause. As you stand upon the edge, hanging in the balance, and fate may fall down upon you, while the devil is knocking. So I'm restless. Each night you hear the drums of war. Awaken, awaken, the voice begins to call you while you hunger. A taste of destiny searching for. Awaken, awaken, awaken. You know who it is, coming round again. You want a dose of this right now, it's KDA. I'm a goddess with a blade, 소리쳐 wanna eat it. 미치 못하게 loud, 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 loud. I could take you to the top, 절대 멈추지 못해. 내가 끝내주는 bag out, out, out. And when I start to talk like that, oh, you won't know how to react. I'm a picture perfect face with that wild in my veins. You can hear it in my growl, 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 growl. So keep your eyes on me now. 무엇을 보든 좋아할 거야. 나의 소원은 level. 나와 되게 원하는 확신해. We got it all in our hands now. So can you handle what we're all about? We're so tough.
Can you feel me? I'm so scared if I show my feelings for you. Need to know what you're feeling, know what you're feeling. I'm so scared if I show my feelings for you. Can you feel me?
Strangest addiction. I could say I'll quit without any conviction. Broke my own heart this time for believing that a ghost could find a body alive that hasn't seen the other side. So don't call me, I'll find something to escape my mind. Strangest addiction. I could say awkward without any conviction. Broke my own heart this time for believing that a ghost could find a body alive that hasn't seen the other side. So don't call me, I'll find something to escape my mind. There's a tragedy in every ember. What's the cost when there's no love lost between us? So burn the letters. There's a tragedy in every ember. In every ember. In every ember. In every ember, there's a tragedy in every You kept rolling snake eyes.
And we are back to kick off the grand finals here over at the VSV tournament. I am still Ewan Midnight Reed, still joined by Benjamin Tico Elite, but our teams are a little bit new here. Sonic Boom on the left-hand side. Well, on the right, of course, we have Low Moisture Whole Milk Mozzarella. So I'm just going to be calling them mozzarella for the rest of the cast.
Yeah.
Tico, grand finals kicking off here, and around to the bands. I suppose the one odd thing in these bands is the short little girl that's hiding in there.
Yeah, no, that's fair, but we have seen her pop up a little bit back in terms of just being able to get herself into the fight, being able to get consistent damage off in short bursts as well. Huge AoE potential coming out from her, and the ability to be able to get off a stun and no one expects it, because you can see the 4 bars below her HP bar to indicate when she has her stun up. But you can also
Just sit on 3.
sit on 3 and then pop a shield and then pop the ulti.
Exactly, a lot of ways that champions can be sneaky, so getting her off the table makes a lot of sense. 3 junglers, of course, got hit. The Hecarim, the Zac, oddly enough, and the Graves, although stuff like the Kha'Zix is still up and available. So, even Lubu, I'm pretty sure Lubu's Nocturne is Nightmare Fuel alongside his Amumu, so a lot of things he can pick from there if they are willing to first pick that, but from the side of Sonic Boom, it's instead going to be in Trigger's wheelhouse by grabbing themselves that Alistar that, to his credit, there were some good engages last time we saw it, and some questionable engages.
Definitely so, and we are seeing them pick. We are seeing Mozzarella pick a Vayne into this team probably. And don't know how that will go, but we will see. It does sort of put a halt onto any tank composition that the Sonic Boom decided to pick up, and that's also flexed.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Roland, you're not allowed to play this matchup again. You're not allowed to play with an Alistar as the Vayne. I don't like blind picking Vayne, but if you're willing to run the Queen of Disengage, I suppose it is absolutely something you can pull off. It obviously means that Curtain Senpai are very confident in their ability to basically not get caught in a fight, which tells me that Ronald needs to play Ashe this game just to prove a point.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a good one. However, Tristana. Now, you don't really see too much of her right now, especially with the amount of mobility that other AD carries have now with the Gale Force. Tristana just isn't the best option in terms of consistent damage output because she has a lower attack speed.
But there is a bit of a cheeky trick to Tristana if you're not ready for it, which is her level 2 is actually ridiculous. Her ability to just, if she wants to, because of analysis, they can both basically jump in. She puts a satchel charge on you, Alistair gets his headbutt knockup. You have to burn someone to get the hell out of it.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of expecting they're locking into Tristana, ironically not for her late game, but for her early game pressure.
Here's another thing, and here's another thought. Might be a little bit out there, but Tristana mid lane.
No.
She's
That-
got the safety.
But it's Envy. That is not Envy's style. I think you forgot about that.
Yeah, no, look, yeah, he does like his mages. He's
Yeah.
got Malzahar banned away, Syndra banned away. Oriana's still up, but I don't think that fits into the composition. I mean, they do have a ball delivery system going on right now with the Nocturne and the Alistair.
I don't know if he still does, but I remember he used to play quite a bit of Cassio a while ago.
Yeah, that's also an
So
option.
they need some more team fight oomph. Cassio is always an option.
Yeah, I would suggest I don't know, some form of control mage. What does he have up left? Oriana's one of the big ones. No, he does not. They banned Oriana.
They
Never mind.
banned Oriana themselves, so he's obviously got something up his wheelhouse. I suppose I'll have to find out what that is right now. Arbiter is taking the tank in top lane responsibility. With that Malphite that was hovered, never mind. So a challenge has been set in mid lane, which is the Lucian. We expect, okay, it could be Vayne top. Let's never take that out of consideration. But I'm going to assume that's Lucian mid and a challenge, because Lucian mid is a hell of a bully against anything AP. So what does Envy do here?
Rammus mid.
Yeah, I feel like he's almost forced to play like a tank, or it looks like that. I think that Nico's going to be him. Nico can duel half decently.
Yeah, he definitely can. Yeah, Nico definitely can. I don't really see any other world where Nico goes anywhere else. And we are seeing Akali being locked into the top side a lot more. I'm just a little bit worried that they don't really have too much in terms of, tankiness.
Yeah.
Then again, the Vayne sort of counters tank, so if they want to get rid of the Vayne very quickly,
I like them a lot better. More crowd control to bring to the table, because if Alistair falls behind, they haven't got a lot. But at least Renekton, he's not a full tank, but at least it's something. So, again, I would probably prefer, even if there is a Vayne, something like an Ornn, just some mass team fight ability, I think would be super, super nice. Although I could say the same about Mozzarella. How are they starting fights? That's not the answer.
okay,
That's-
I don't know if I agree with this kid. Okay, so Vayne bot lane with Lucian top and hold on. Vayne bot lane, Lucian mid, Camille top lane.
Yes.
Here's the problem that I see right off the bat. There's no AP damage.
No, not at all. And yes, they're not going to have tanks, but Renekton's going to be relatively hard to kill. And Nico gets basically a Zhonya's Hourglass for free. He doesn't worry about anything else. Tristana doesn't have to worry about it. And Lubu can if he wants to. Just grab himself some plain armor or something like that.
Or, Guardian Angel.
Exactly.
Most of the champions here will be building steel plate boots.
Oh, I'd be amazed if they did.
Yeah.
There's no...
Logical reason to not.
I was just hoping we get maybe top lane, but no, you don't even do that in Renekton. Because I know some Renektons don't like saying, oh, I'll take it just for the Camille stun, but it's never worth it.
Well, I'm saying it more, if you're building a resistance boots, you're gonna...
Oh, no, yeah, you absolutely have still plays, yeah. Like, the comp is very, from the side of Mozzarella, it's very snowball-based. Like, Lucian needs to be relevant in that mid lane. He needs to put Envy's Nico down and put it down hard. Camille needs to get that Triforce of Divine, depending on which one they want to go for. And then Renekton Renekton struggles in that matchup. Because Camille is just, how to put this politely, obnoxious, that's how to put it politely. And then the bottom lane, assuming Vayne and Janna play safe, they don't die to Tristana Alistair.
Yeah.
In theory.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking about when we first started talking about the dive potential level 2 from Tristana Alistar. I really think that Janna, all she needs to do is take Tornado level 1, because I know that Tristana and Alistar will be pushing to get the level 2 first, so that they can get that jump on them. I don't think there's much that Vayne and Janna can do except prepare for it and back off.
Yeah.
And the best way to do that is as soon as they see them getting the half of the second wave, they back off, Janna preps her Q, and just walk away.
Yeah, I agree, because that's the respectful way to play it. Now, some Vayne players will tell you, oh, you hit level 2 on Vayne, you have to go in. And with a Janna, I can see the logic of it. You take Zephyr level 2, and you just get extra damage down with the shield level 1, either Storm. But I do agree, it's probably safer. Play weak side, bot side, forward side of Mozzarella. Your Lucian has to do well, your Camille has got a lot of agency, and then Kayn is weak, but he's got 2 lanes he can set up for him. One very easily in the Camille, and one not so easily in the Lucian.
And one thing that we haven't touched on is the jungle matchup, Nocturne versus Kayn. These are very heavy AD, assassin-based champions. Nocturne is going to be a little bit annoying. I think that he might want to put a little bit of focus up on the top side, and the mid lane. I think that Tristana and Alistar are going to have a good time at the bot side, but this is all theory-based. Kayn really just needs to focus on getting his farm up, making sure that he gets his early form, and then start to... He might want to get some impact to be able to get that form up early, but other than that, he would just be looking to gain an advantage over Nocturne.
And I would say that advantage comes in the bottom lane. Camille has got a super easy setup to get Renekton. Renektons usually like to be aggressive and try and push their advantage. But then again, I also kind of expect if Lubu's going to gank early, I'd say he goes top lane. Camille's a bully lane. So a lot of ways it can go. I think our 2 junglers will butt heads in the top lane, but time will tell as we're about to kick off our grand finals here over the side of EC. No, oh, there! VSC. We're gonna go to a short break before we come back to the grand finals as our production team yells at us. So guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a second. Shut up! And the grand finals is kicking here over at BSV, where we have Sonic Boom hanging out, trying to do something cheeky in the early game, but unfortunately weren't able to make anything of that work, up against Low Moisture Whole Milk Mozzarella, who also charged down the mid lane. Thankfully, we're able to catch their opponents, and no early game shenanigans for our grand final series here, Tico.
No, not yet. Anyway, I think that we are going to get some form of shenanigans, but it's not going to be as intense as, you know, a level 1 5v5.
Aww. You can't get my heart. See, whenever someone says level 1 5v5, I get so excited.
It's great. You see all the videos, and they have quadra kill going over to the AD carry. But then you know for a fact that that game's going to turn around and they're going to lose.
Oh
it.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Ooh, what is? Okay, so some cheeky moves already. The early sweeper that has come out of Kobe. I actually do like the idea that the core idea of it being, you know, every jungler loves within an early ward back away. Now it's harder for them to be able to track Kayn. And Kayn already is a pain in the ass to track in the jungle. So giving him that little bit of extra safety is going to be so nice for Auric on where does he want to go with this Kayn and which lanes are the most juicy. As fake Ronald in the middle lane here, just moving the lane out fine. And
It's
Renekton started slice and dice level 1.
Yeah, no, he needs to be able to get away from the Camille, especially if she does get the advantage with a level 2. We were talking about the mid lane. The reason why you do see a lot of the Nikos, during laning phase at least when they're auto-attacking, take a form of a ranged champion is so they can get that extra range to be able to get a little bit of more of that safety. However, level 2, in fact, looking to be in favor of the Mozzarella team.
Yeah, and part of that is Alistar simply can't walk up to the minion wave without losing most of his HP from just sheer poke. So level 2 hit there, and oh no, again, Kobe has roamed? What early game shenanigans is this coming out from the side of Mozzarella?
Envy really should have talked to his teammates about that one.
I mean, who's ready for a roam 3 minutes?
Yeah, but why would your mid laner be missing anyway at that point?
Early cold purchase? I'd do it.
I don't think he has enough money for that.
300? No, he wouldn't have.
400 gold. No, he wouldn't.
No. Okay, then I got no idea.
Yeah.
I got nothing to defend that.
But that was still a big brain coming out from the Mozzarella team, but there's a reason why they're in the finals.
Oh, Senpai getting engaged on here, but there's only level 2, so they don't have access to the jump. Envious now in trouble there, as Kobe playing aggressive with Auric in his back pocket here, and Mozzarella playing a rather aggressive game so far in our grand final, and so far it has netted them that first blood onto Kobe in the mid lane.
It is definitely paying off, but we will be looking to see a bit more aggro now that both bot laners have hit level 3. Sonic Boom, they've got access to all of their, early abilities by the ultimate. And so Alistar is going to be looking to be more of a threat now in terms of a full engage.
Yeah, and the follow-up that Ronald can have on this Tristana cannot be understated. So we'll see if they're willing to play aggressive there. As rest of the map, we are seeing Lubu on this Nocturne. He's looking for something, and so I think that is just a cheeky invade, steal away a little bit here, because Auric has gone for a very, very heavy clear. He hasn't even actually gotten his blue buff yet, as Trigger just, again, this is just harassment, to be put bluntly.
Yeah. There's not too much that they can do, though. Sempi, Queen of disengage on the Jenna. Gotta be very cautious of a full engage, especially under turret. It's almost like diving a Shen. Where I'm very, very easy to dive. Come dive me, and then it just turns it around.
Yeah.
I'm a vulnerable support.
Yeah, the ultimate bait there. So I feel like the best that Ronald and Trigger can do is just push the wave out and then reset. And just keep Kurt down as much as possible. Because we all know what happens when a good Vayne player gets to the late game with 3-4 items. It is nightmare fuel. So we'll see how that goes there. As the dragon spawn. That's why I can hear the dragon roaring in my ears.
No, yeah, it tends to happen.
Yeah.
Every single game.
Yeah, it's almost like I don't pay attention.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
Dragon Spawn, neither team was going to look for it for, I'd say, at least the next 10 minutes. I feel like with both these junglers wanting to take their time, even more so with Auric going for an early tier, that it's going to be a nice and slow game.
Time to eat your words.
Oh, yeah, definitely time to eat my...
Oh, Lubu.
Oh,
Lubu, why?
That is heartbreaking. The consolation is that there is no wards, but the execution was flawed, but the idea is still a solid one.
Yeah.
And that eats my words because they were not ready for this. And now with that really nice leash that they've secured for Lubu, he'll get the dragon. Ronald misses no experience at whatsoever. And I don't think that Mozzarella know, because otherwise they'd roam up to defeat Lubu. No, free dragon for Lubu.
Yeah, no, they don't have much vision around it. They did have the Scuttle Crab priority. They had the vision, but that was taken a lot earlier, and that one disappeared. As soon as it left, Sonic Boom, they decided, yeah, you know what, we're gonna take an early dragon. Ocean Drake, that's gonna help them a lot in the laning phase. I think that's gonna do a lot for Voodoo as well as the ball lane in terms of just being able to survive, especially topside against, you know, a champion that he's not very dominant into.
Yeah, what we can call a bit of a unfair matchup. There's these two junglers are finally butting heads there. The smite goes down, says thank you very much, and I'm out of here. But I don't think Oryx had much interaction with champions, so he's still going to be almost untouched when it comes to his transformation bar. So I wonder where, I like his jungle path, and in essence, what he's doing is a good idea because he needs to get that tier built into a Manamune as quickly as possible. But I've never been a fan of Kanes who have such an easy lane to gank, like a level 6 Camille, and they don't just hard camp that lane for the next 5 minutes. I'm just not a fan of that style of playing Kayn.
Oh. They're doing well to be able to get a good trade-off, but we are seeing once again Kobe different roaming up towards the top lane. He's not going to get spotted out by any vision as well. The Arbiter has TP, but it doesn't look like they're going to commit to that. He's still going to use the TP though.
Yeah, Manu's backed away. I think he's learned. I think that the shot calling from MD saying, hey, Kobe's not in mid lane anymore. Something is up. Remember last time? As he's going all in, flash for flash. But MV's not able to get the damage out, and now he's going to get punished there. But Lubu comes from the side lane there, and Kobe has nothing. They're calling in desperation as he's put down.
Yeah, didn't have a flash after being spent by Envy. And then in comes Lubu with an early level 6, is able to easily capitalize on the fact that there is no mobility on the Lucian anymore. He dashed away from when Envy decided to go invisible and split into two and become twins, and then had to flash out of the ultimate to Pop Blossom. And
had nothing left. There's nothing he could do in that situation. His punishment of Envy is going aggressive, which is typically the right thing to do, is just very harshly punished. And that is really nice for Lubu, as he's now got that serrated dirt sitting in his back pocket, ready to go. As we're coming up to the 9-minute mark, Menu taking exactly what we expected. A nice, relative, I say slow game, but a double knockout coming through there. Roland free hitting if they want to commit to this, and yes, they do. Flash and the Monsoon, but throws the Alistair the wrong way. But now Roland's on his own without support. The Ignite is burning down. One more hit will do it, but not able to get the damage down, as Triggered is forced to flash to safety as well. No one died, but 8 Summoner spells burned.
A beautiful turnaround coming out from Mozzarella as well. The Janna ulti to maintain her AD carry's health bar, and the fact that they were able to turn it around with a beautiful Vayne ultimate, and then just so much damage they weren't able to deal with it. Triggered didn't pop the ultimate, neither did Ronald, but I don't think they were confident enough to be able to secure the kill, or confident enough in their damage output to be able to justify utilizing them.
Oh no, Manu. Early Dominus usage here, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. He gets taken down. Arbiter drops the aggro. A beautifully timed dive. And do you remember a couple games ago we talked about dives taking too long? By the time Manu saw the dive coming, it hit them hard. It was too little, too late. There's nothing that could be done.
And they were able to... Well, they tried to do that earlier, and I mean, it sort of worked because they still managed to pick up the kill with that first blood with the Lucian on Kobe. But because we saw that the Kayn was around, but now they're just getting so much bullying into this Renekton. However, speaking of bullying,
oh no, he dashed the wrong way. He's got no flash and no safety. He goes down.
It's a rough time, but they're sort of giving him the treatment that he is treating Manu with. Basically, Envy is going to take out every mobility tool that Kobe has, and then in comes Lu Bu saying, "Oh yeah, by the way, you don't have that anymore."
And it's really clever from Envy the way he baits it. Again, trading with Lucian. Lucian's like, okay, I need to use my dash in order to get some more damage output, but that's his only safety net right now. It's like LeBlanc's distortioning forwards with no acknowledgement of, hey, I can get punished with this down. So, gets taken out. Really good work here from Sonic Boom to have the right priority targeting, but Envy now might be the one who's in danger. Trigger gets a nice double knock up there. Kurt Cobain is kiting it out though. Lu Bu is trying his best. He gets the fear to down the final hour. Doesn't matter. And he gets cut down there. Now Ulrich is disengaging with Kobe arriving on the back end of it. A beautiful tornado might be enough to try to this one. Roland is taking down low thanks to the culling. It triggered, tries to buy time, but it buys nothing as he is gonna go down as well. Envy running for his life. Lu Bu's nearby, but I think he's just gonna have to abandon his mid laner, because with the arrival of Kurt over the back end as well, there's no way he's going to get out in one piece.
No, there's nothing that Lu Bu could do. He doesn't have any form of disengage. The only disengage he does have is his fear, and he has to get up close and personal to be able to be at all effective. It did start off right. They did manage to bait, Envy did manage to bait the Mozzarella team into the rest of his team. However, it just didn't turn around right when two more members from Mozzarella decided that they wanted to join in on the fun, and down goes the rest of the team around their turret. The only remaining member was Lu Bu. Off the back of that, they pick up the second dragon of the game, the Mountain Drake.
But it's not the end of the world for the side of Sonic Boom there. Yes, they fell a little bit behind, and I think part of it is just lazy mistakes. Lu Bu needs Paranoia to be really impactful. And the issue is that they successfully used it to gank Kobe in the middle lane, but then they decided, you know, we're going to play aggressive without our Nocturne's best ability to get into the fight. So it feels a little bit odd for them to keep moving with that one. As I poke down the items here, our first Mythic has hit Summoner's Rift, and Kobe is going to be running that Gale Force for a little bit more mobility.
Definitely an interesting one, but I do think that is justifiable the way he's been treated throughout the game. Usually you do see Illusion going with a Kraken Slayer because he can get...
Oh god, the all-in double knockup from Triggered. I'm on that soon to buy time, but is it going to be enough? They take down one, but Kurt is alive in all this. Ulrich bought so much time with this Kane as well. Will it be enough though? Ulrich is going to get cut down. There is just not enough damage from Kurt to justify the re-engage.
A beautiful disengage from Sempi, and I think that's the cue they should have taken, the disengage.
Oh my god, Kobe does not get out of it thanks to the Gale Force there. The culling is going to get Envy low. The flash forward, the ignite, and the solo kill in mid.
Yeah, he held on to his flash Envy, and he should not have, because that costed him his life. However, he now does have a summoner, a couple summoner advantages over Kobe different. But yeah, he definitely, if he wanted to survive, he shouldn't have held on to his flash. Unfortunately, he did so, and that's the end of that story. Meanwhile, let's talk about what happened in the bot side as well. There wasn't enough damage, you're right. A beautiful disengage coming out from Sempi with his ultimate to be able to just push them away from the rest of his team, because that was a beautiful engage with a perfectly timed Paranoia combined with a pulverized headbutt, or headbutt pulverized, sorry. And that should have been in the end of that story, but the disengage from Sempi basically turned that one around, gave enough time for Auric to be able to come in and help them with the disengage. At that point, they should have just walked away. They tried to be able to turn it around because of the massive disengage, and they weren't able to.
Yeah. And, you know, it's still a little heartbreaking, but it's what you'd expect. Vayne needs a couple items to be relevant. So, the re-engage was a good idea, albeit flawed in execution. Coming up as we're just approaching that 15-minute mark now, and gold is only, well, not even 1,000 gold actually, in the lead, as Kobe is trying to set up something on Envious there. Hot Blossom is available, but will it be used in time? The shield comes out, and he flashes himself to safety. A disaster for Kobe. I have never seen a man get bullied that hard before.
That was so rough. That was so rough. We saw an amazing engage from Kobe. It looked like he had that in the bank. Unfortunately, Envy timed his Spot Blossom beautifully to be able to get a little bit of a shield to extend his life a little bit more. Flashed away. Beautiful that it was very well done that he kept his flash for that one. But he flashed away to be able to disengage. And then in comes the headbutt Pulverize. And then in comes the Paranoia so he can't see anything. And then Envy just stands inside a Dragon Pit and waits for it all to be over. And the rest of his team just takes it.
It's so heartbreaking to see something like that happen. And what's happening in top lane, unfortunately, isn't much of a consolation prize. You've lost to bot lane tier 1. Your top laner is in a good matchup, but is not actually ahead in CS, nor is really in any position to actually threaten the turret. So as good as a dominant lane is for you, it's not actually getting Mozzarella anything other than pressure. And right now, unfortunately, that pressure means nothing in this matchup here. I mean, yeah, we're seeing Kobe Rowan top lane. This has to work, but he's already been seen on a ward.
He's been spotted out on a couple wards. He got spotted out on the control ward at his blue buff. And they've just warded off this place. So Sonic Boom are doing really well to track where most of the members are. They knew exactly where Kobe was. There was a roam as soon as the engaged happened onto Envy from Kobe. And they just managed to spot him out and just turn it around. I think that this is because of the amount of vision that they have around this dragon, around this river.
We're seeing that vision superiority allowing Sonic Boom access here, and we're seeing Mozzarella in a really awkward spot here because who's meant to walk up and start the fight for them? The answer is Camille, because Kayn hasn't transformed, Lucian doesn't want to do it, Janna certainly doesn't want to do it, and Vayne wants to hide in the backline. So they're in a really awkward spot where, because their Kayn isn't transformed, they can't even use him for skirmishing potential. Now, they're going to be forced to face check into what we're seeing on screen of Envy, Lubu, and Triggered, and it's going to end about as well as you would expect in this sort of situation. The Dragon's being toyed with, the flank coming in from but it might be something, but instead he is the priority target, forced to jump over the wall, Lubu flashing his forwards as well. But now, with that Dragon drop, yeah, there we're seeing Mozzarella on the Dragon there. Envy is trying to buy space, Pop Blossom does not a damn thing. Triggered into the backline onto Auric, but it will not matter as the Dragon is secured by the side of Mozzarella. Team fights are there, Senpai is taken down low, Auric buying a little bit of space, the Arbiter comes into the sideline there, Roland shows what he can to dodge out damage, but he has Hextech ultimatum in, and he is in a lot of trouble, but he does get out, courtesy of the kill. Thanks to the Goomba Stomp. Kobe is chasing for some reason. Everyone's so low. If Roland feels like Goomba stomping, he absolutely can. He's looking for Kurt as the first target. If they can get the Vayne low, that is fantastic. Roland low as well. And the flank of Auric, where the hell did he come from? 1, 2, 3. What the hell? An assassin from nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, he was chased away by Manu, and he basically got rid of him out of the team fight. Then they forgot about him, and they tried to turn it around. Miscommunication, and then Kane's like, oh, wait, hold on. Oh, wait, no, I can come back in, and we can flank. And then they don't even remember they're there. They might have just assumed that he was backing already. No, he's got the Hex Drinker.
Gore Drinker.
The Gore Drinker, sorry. The Hex Gore Drinker. He's got the Gore Drinker. He gets in the middle of the fight. He gains so much HP back. He doesn't even need to use his ultimate to be able to get an HP back. He's got so much in terms of just being able to sustain the fight. They were so low. Picks up a couple. Picks up a triple.
Yeah, and that should be a transformation to boot here. If we can take a look at this. It is... Ooh, he's going for the Assassin Kayn. The blue Kayn, I believe. So... that is very interesting. And seeing Engage coming through here. Lubu destroying Senpai. And now, unfortunately, Kurt actually gets in over the wall here. Then does get out without too many problems. As a successful pickoff, though, Senpai can do nothing to defend themselves.
Yeah, tries to run away from that one. But now that they can really just shove in the mid lane. Like, they should be able to take this turn, not too much in terms of the wave clear. However, 2 members have decided they want to join. I think it's an easy turret though.
Yeah, this is going to be the turret crumbling to dust there. And Kurt, he's trying to do something, but he needs to be very, very careful here. Because even Auric, as the blue assassin, isn't going to be able to protect Vayne if they do decide to commit onto them. So... oh god, Lubu's going for Collector.
What?
On Nocturne, he's going for the Collector.
Oh.
That is disgusting.
Definitely. is definitely something you don't want to deal with as a Nocturne. I mean, playing against a Nocturne, I mean, you go dark, and then you die.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't even have to fully take away their HP. The collector does the rest for you.
That is disgusting, but I'm very interested to see how it does end up going. As so far, the game has slowed down a little bit here. Having thought both of these teams. The Baron has, of course, just spawned, but I don't think either of these teams are really in the position to force the objective. As they are skirmishing around each other. This is really weird to me, because I don't feel like either team are actually in the position where they're going to start it without dying immediately afterwards, as it looks like an engagement is going to not work out. Kurt is able to turn that one around, and the engage coming through from the back end of it, though Senpai does drop the 280 carries are here. They have to be so careful. Pop Blossom will not connect again. Envy just cannot make that all work, as Roland's in trouble, forced to dash himself to safety there, as Auric looking to get over the wall with the Umbral chest pass, slicing right through the AD carry of Sonic Boom here. Nothing that can be done when they are not able to land their key abilities.
They need to be able to group up. They need to be able to take care of, or not be caught out like that. And off the back of that, they're going to be able to rotate towards this Baron. Turret's being taken, I believe, up the top side.
Yeah, is going to be the Baron falling down very quickly here. And I know I mentioned that the Baron shouldn't work, but then instead you get the team fight, you get the Baron successfully done, and now Baron secured at 22 exact. This is a fantastic position for the side of Mozzarella to be at. And I think part of it is, ironically, on the back of Auric. He's done a phenomenal job on the Kane so far. 7-1 Gore Drinker. Even if I don't agree with the itemization that he's gone for with the Blue Assassin, it's working phenomenally, as the next dragon is spawning up very shortly, and both teams are getting ready for another fight.
Yeah, and Dragon, being the next objective up, they need to be very careful about this, because they're getting so much vision around here, but they have to be very careful. Ooh, they're just hiding there.
Yeah, it's an attempted ambush. Unfortunately, Naranoia used it. Does not matter, but they still want to go in with it. This is a 4v3. This is dangerous. Envy coming into the flank, but it doesn't matter. The flank only works if one side can actually hold the damn line. They failed. Roland trapped in the pit there. Auric's like, hello, little man. How you going in there? But Triggered is instead the target. Not able to save himself there, as now Envious is just buggered. Is able to get one kill on the back of it, but unfortunately will not be able to stop Auric's desire for vengeance. As an all-in-all, a really solid move for Mozzarella there, as Sonic Boom are getting pelted with damage.
And the top lane, meanwhile, has just been shoving him, and who can't really do anything about it. Both of them had teleport, but I feel like Arbiter just knew that his team had it in the bag. Doesn't really need to support them in that dragon fight, but so they managed to take it, and Manu couldn't really teleport, or else he'd lose his top turret.
Exactly. Manu's in a it's the roughest position for any top laner to be in, personally. But he doesn't win this matchup. He doesn't win this lane, but he has to survive it. As now he's going to be, unfortunately, Goon squatted a little bit. The Dominus probably not going to be enough to save him as he gets cut out from there, as Arbiter uses that Hextech Ultimatum to reposition himself to safety, and they will simply break down the top lane tier 2. And Lubu, oh no, Lubu, he's trying to set up a flank, but unfortunately forced a flash to safety. Oh, Roland says, I am the one you need to fear.
That was an amazing shot. I mean, get it with like one hit. How about you? Ronald doing an amazing job in terms of that.
Oh my god, it's not over yet. Lubu going in and Lubu dying again as the re-engage comes with Kurt Cobain is exhausted, but it's not gonna matter. He has all of the damage with those tumbles. Triggered will fall. An attempted engage, but once again, Lubu just does not have the damage output.
No, you have to be able to dish out the damage, and if you can't burst down the vein within that 1 second window that you have as a Nocturne, you're not going to be able to kill her, especially with with the Jenna being in her back pocket the entire time, the fact she can go invisible as well as soon as she ultimate tumbles. And she's got a Kraken Slayer, she's got a Phantom Dancer. This is not going to be an easy Vayne to kill now. She's going to have so much damage output, and it's going to be hard.
And it already has the protection of a Jenna, who has themselves a mandate and even their next item, which is of course that Ardent Sensor, to ensure that Kurt does survive, he's got more than enough capacity to dish out the damage with that Infinity Edge now sitting in his back pocket. And on the other side of it, like, oh god, I'm seeing Lubu with Paranoia almost up and Senpai nearby, but this, I feel like if they go for the fight here, Arbiter, come on buddy, watch out, gets headbutt knocked up and is going to get taken down here. An overextension! You've got to be aware how many people are around the map before you do something that ballsy.
I mean, there was vision in the bush near Krugs, but I think that the Arbiter only saw one person there, and so decided that, oh, you know what, this is gonna be an easy kill. Nope, never mind. Hook shots over the wall and finds what, 3 other members there with him.
And the moment the hook shot's down, he's got no way to get the hell out of that fight. So a little bit foolishness as Kurt, looking for something there. They need to get Kurt once again. He gets with the Pop Blossom does, and it's not bleeding there. As now the rest of the team is just scattered to the wind. Senpai's going to get burst down here by Envy as well. And a fantastic turnaround there. Azoric trying to fight off Manu, but finally the Renekton shows his worth as the bloodthirsty support has more kills than the top laner.
Yeah, look, 3. Manu's not having a good time. But I mean, that's sort of the matchup that's going to happen. Arbiter on the Camille versus Renekton. You think that Renekton would be a major bully here?
No.
But not into this matchup, he ain't.
Camille bullies most bruises because of her damage output, her mobility, and of course, annoyingly enough, the innate... I think because the second half of the Q's got 2 damage, if I'm not mistaken. So it's very difficult to match her in damage, tankiness, and mobility. And if she beats you in any of them, she bullies the crap out of you.
Yeah.
So very, very rough for anyone forced to deal with Camille nowadays. Is quick gander down the items here, and I'm still not a fan of Oryx build. It is a build that looks to me like he's gone Red Kane, but he's Assassin Kane, and it just feels weird.
I do agree with you. This is a build that you don't really want to see on a blue Kane, but I mean, in terms of being able to make him a bit more survivable, sure, it works. And if he wants to be a bit more mobile, if he wants to be able to take down the back line, it'll definitely work. He just has to be worried about the front line.
Yeah, well, so far they've got pincer going on there, multi-man knockout coming through. This could be a disaster as Mostrella is getting jumps on there. They are disengaging, but now will they move into the re-engaging from multiple man system. Lubu diving into the backline. Senpai is gone. Kurt is jumped on as well. There is no escape, no mobility. Mozzarella was so spread out that all they had to do was get picked apart.
And they did. They split the fight. They're rotating towards the Baron as well. But I think the Arbiter is going to get run into. He's got to keep running. They're not going to be able to keep
rolling here. That's amazing. Couple more hits will do it. Not able to get the damage output. So the heal was forced out. But Oric couldn't assassinate the marksman.
Yeah, but that's just because of the pure survivability that Ronald had in terms of just the turnaround, the lifesteal as well, and the heal.
Yeah. The one thing to be careful about here is Oric does have a level up. So there is always the possibility of a steal, but it's only by 50. The team is wailing into it, and yeah, Manu's going to go for zoning. Oric almost has to go in now, but they've been slow about it, not able to get into the steal there. Manu did a beautiful job zoning out the enemy jungler.
Didn't allow him to go through that wall either, just because of the pure pressure. But I mean, you could also hear it as well. And
oh no, that's a disaster. Goodbye.
Ronald, I feel like could have finished that.
Lubu's now in trouble there. They're just going to get run down one by one. They're going to get hunted like animals as Manu is going in. Whoa! Oric going all the way in with that humble trespass. Don't worry, boys. I've got this. Picks up the kill. Gets pushed in as Kobe is coming from the backside. Envy has to get this one out because Triggered can only buy so much room as Kobe refuses to die, courtesy of Senpai. They may have secured the Baron, but they've lost everything else. They
Yeah.
might actually lose off this push.
I really think so. There's only one Baron left. That's not going to be enough to be able to keep these
No.
minions alive.
It's gonna go down. One's gonna go down. The other's gonna go down too. Despite losing the Baron, despite losing the fight, they are able from the side of Mozzarella to run down Sonic and take the grand final in a blitzkrieg of an ending.
Not usually something you would see after losing Baron, but hey, what the heck? If you take out every single member on the opposing team that just took Baron, you don't need to deal with Baron empowered minions and champions when you can just deal with
Exactly.
killing all the champions and only the minions.
Exactly. Brilliant aggression coming out of Mozzarella there after what was a very even game. It was a very toe-for-toe match. We saw, of course, Mozzarella have a super dominant side on the top half of the map, and their bot lane was able to survive what was a bit of a rough time. But they just had those extra inches over Sonic Boom. And I think the heartbreaking part of Sonic Boom is Manu. He got the short end of the stick. He didn't get to play League of Legends, basically. And the fights that we got to see him in were brilliant. But then I ask, why did he get no help from anyone for most of that game when he was offside laning against Camille? Like, there were so many openings where they could have committed 2-3 members, force him away, give Manu some time to breathe, but he never got that assistance, and it really hurt their team fight when they got to the mid and late game.
But it did well in his position. He's still managed to match toe for toe in terms of itemization with the Arbiter, and I think that's based off his CSing as well as just his involvement with the team fights. 4 assists, a lot of CS. I think it's the highest in the game, bar Kurt Cobain. So the split push pressure as well just allowed him to be able to stay on top of his game, be at the highest level in this game as well, and just allowed him to stay relevant. Not that you see many Renekton's do when they fall behind.
Yeah, and I think the other big thing that really hurt Sonic Boom, and it's why they started to lose control, Lu Bu had to target Kurt Cobain. The issue is that Kurt never died. Kurt would always final hour tumble, which meant that half the time Lu Bu never got his fear tether off, and Senpai was often relatively close by. So it became a point where Lu Bu had to make a bad decision of not targeting Kurt and either targeting Senpai or Kobe, which isn't ideal, but maybe killing them, or targeting Kurt, failing to kill them, and then getting one shot himself because he went for a very aggressive build.
Yeah, definitely did, and it didn't really pay off at the end of that one. You definitely do have to give a lot of credit, though, to Ronald and his capacity to be able to sustain against a full-out engage from Auric. Like, was it Auric? Yeah, it was Auric. He is able to use a Buster Shot to be able to just make sure he doesn't get anywhere close, so it doesn't stay close. So Ronald did really well in that capacity, but unfortunately he wasn't able to carry the team heavy enough to be able to bring them to the victory. And I don't think that Sonic Boom expected such a quick turnaround of events. It expected them to chase them down after that Baron take.
No one typically does, because you usually expect after a Baron to cure, both teams go separate and then they'll meet up after recalling. But that aggressiveness caught Sonic Boom by surprise, and super good decision from Mozzarella to find their openings, punish it, all based on Kobe finding Ronald at the end of the recall, dash Gale forcing in, getting that, and then just one by one until they were able to claim the victory here. And of course, that is the grand final in their back pocket as well. So of course, congratulations Mozzarella for winning the BSB grand final. But sadly, Tico, that does mean with the grand final done, that is the end of the tournament tonight. And well, of course, we have to give a thanks to all the teams for putting in their hardest yards and, of course, putting on a hell of a grand final showing.
Yeah, definitely do agree. Thanks to all the teams for coming by, being involved in this one. But really appreciate it, everyone coming to watch as well.
Yeah, well, on that note, guys, we'd like to thank you for watching throughout the course of the night. And me, myself, and I, and of course, Tico, he's always with me as well, will catch you guys for a future cast. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you later.